Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. And my name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Wissman.
And it is a special day today.
Yeah.
It's the episode number 150.
Oh, that's so weird.
So, yeah,
what a nice round
150
number.
episodes today. Yeah, every 50 we kind of have to go, hey, cool.
Yeah,
Look
at
at that. It's like a year's worth of episodes. And, 50. It's a big thing. So,
year.
150 Crime and Sports, which is crazy. Thank you to everyone who has made this still exist.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, because if you didn't listen, then we probably wouldn't still be doing it.
No.
I would imagine.
Oh, you would have shot yourself a long time.
I would have. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Which I still might. Don't get me wrong.
True.
It's on. Let's not put that out of the realm of possibilities. Every week when I do this research, and I'm like, a third of the people are going to listen to this that listen to Small Town Murder. Yet this takes me 5 times as long. Yeah. Amazing. Isn't that great? Yeah.
That's handy.
Somebody tweeted this week, by the way, that they tweeted, I'm the people that they have my handle there. I'm the people at Jimmy P is funny hates because I only listen to the people I know. And I just wanted to, I wanted to fucking rip into the person. But like, no, they're nice people. They're just trying to listen to the show, and they don't have to listen to the ones. But I'm like, you're killing me.
Right.
Do you understand? You individually as a person and any one of your ilk are literally sucking the life from my body.
That is hilarious. Somebody opening their phone and going, I can't wait to listen to Nevermind.
Yeah. Oh, who's that? Never mind. I know it doesn't matter because this is a story I don't know, so it might be better, but nah. I don't know what lies within this. It could be the greatest thing in the world, but nah, it's okay. I want to hear a story I've heard before.
That person's listened.
It's not their fault.
Right. Yeah. But that person likely listened to Chuck Knobloch, and that story is not near as fascinating as, say, Bertil Fox.
Or say Bertil Fox or Buck Zumhoff. Yeah. Give me a goddamn break here. You're not going to top Buck Zumhoff or Vyacheslav Dotsik.
Dotsik is ridiculous.
But there's so many people that you've never heard of that are some of the best episodes. Yeah. We cannot express that enough. I don't know why we're saying that now, because we're doing an episode where no one's ever heard of the guy. Right. So those people aren't listening to this. The people who are listening I'm preaching to the converted. They're already here. There might be some Australians that know who this person is. Quickly before we get to that, just want to go over some house cleaning here.
Sure.
Thank you to everyone who gave us their iTunes reviews this week, or purple icon, Apple Podcast, whatever the hell you want to call it. Thank you guys. That really drives us up the charts. It's really
working.
It is. It's the lifeblood of a podcast. That's the thing. It's one of those funky algorithm of iTunes. It's not our fault. So thank you, or wherever you listen to podcasts, get on there, give us a review. 5 stars would be nice. Doesn't matter what you say, because it's not for our egos. It's to drive us up the charts. So just tell us you're following instructions, you're following directions, and that's fine with us.
It's interesting that in a world of technology, that just listening doesn't fucking do much.
No, that doesn't do it. You have to actually express your joy.
You got to say it.
You have to express your joy for the product.
You got to listen with your words.
That's what it is.
What is that?
Listen with your mouth, everybody.
That doesn't make any sense.
Listen with your fingers. So, thank you to everybody who's done that. Also, go to shutupandgivememurder.com, where you can get all of your crime and sports and small town murder merchandise and information and everything like that. This week, 2 days from now, if you're listening to this, the day it comes out, we are going to be in West Palm Beach, Florida at the West Palm Improv. Tickets are still available for that. Get on shutupandgivememurder.com and get your tickets now.
Let's go.
It's Small Town Murder Live, and it's going to be awesome. It's a really fun show. I have it all written out, and it's a good one. So you're going to have a blast with that. You could do all that stuff from there. Other things you can do from there would be one of our wonderful, fabulous hero producers. We're going to talk about at the end of the show. You can be one of those people very easily over at shutupandgivememurder.com. You can follow the link over to patreon.com/crimeinsports, or you can go to PayPal, use our email address, which is
crimeinsports@gmail.com.
That's the one. And You can make a one-time donation there. Yeah. Do whatever you want. We appreciate everything anybody does for us. Thank you so much.
You guys are amazing.
For all 150 episodes worth. We really, really appreciate it. And we're going to have a long list of those producers at the end of the show. Yeah. But for now, we have to get to the story. Okay. My goodness. This is a weird story, man. This is a really odd story where I was reading this and I'm like, wow, this is odd. It's Australian.
Yeah.
So, it's Australian rules football. So as we do with any foreign sport or just any case in general, we do ask that you find our ignorance charming.
Yeah.
That's what we ask because
we don't know.
We don't know.
Your sport's weird.
We're trying and, we're not trying that hard to really learn all that much about it, but we're just going to have a good time.
Listen, your sport's like Eminem's beard.
Yeah, it's sort of there.
It's weird.
It's a little spotty. Well, let's talk about this guy. He is Stephen Patrick Gregory Bailey, which sounds like the most Irish man ever.
Say his name again.
Stephen Patrick Gregory Bailey.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Irish.
That's an Australian guy?
That's an Australian guy. Stephen Bailey is what he goes by. Drops the two middle names.
Good call.
But they're family names, and we'll find out. This is a big, blue blood, wealthy, well-known, spread out family. Yeah, this is these people they do well, and everybody in the family does well, and they're just one of those families that you look at and you go, how is no one crazy there? I look at my family and I'm like, we could put that together. I'm like, no, this person's crazy. They'd take the whole thing down. We can't have that. Just a dynasty of sane, reasonable people who do diligent work, and that doesn't happen.
No.
How many people in your family can be part of that?
Forget it. I think about it all the time. Like, a lot of people go, why aren't we rich? I know exactly why we're not rich.
That's what I mean.
Look at the fucking mirror, people. We're
That's
not.
What I'm saying. Yeah.
We're goddamn crazy.
Look at everybody. They're all
We'd just be broke tomorrow. It's right back in this boat.
Everybody's crazy. Yeah. These people, they're all the kids are confident and they're all like, well spoken when they're 13.
No.
I don't understand those people. I don't know how they do it.
No.
I swear they're all robots. All of them.
Well, what other explanation is there?
That's
just
all
that
it could
they're
be.
Hardworking and they listen to authority.
They don't exist.
Who does that?
No, they don't exist in real life. I don't feel like because like I said, very few members of my family could have ever done anything like this at all. So Stephen Bailey, he's born in 1981 into, like I said, a wealthy, influential family, and they're very much into Australian rules football. His mother is Penelope Bailey. She goes by Penny, and she's well known as well.
Good choice.
She's the daughter of Laurie Kerr. Laurie Kerr is a man, first of all.
Really?
The English and the Australian, South African, English-speaking white people in non-American countries seem to really enjoy naming men Laurie.
Okay.
There's a lot of them. There's another Laurie that's a cricket player who we're going to do an episode on.
What is a
point.
Laurie? Isn't there a Laurie that's like a fucking like a
there's
noun?
There's Lorrie, and that's the common one I see. But this is actually Laurie, like
that is
like
a woman's name,
like a woman named Laurie, but he's a man, which threw me off completely because I'm like, a woman played Australian rules football? That's amazing. That got me interested in the story right there. It's like, this dude's mom played Australian rules football? Awesome. She must have been a bad bush bitch, man. Think about that. She must have been just a bad popping out of shit, attacking people with her. Would have been awesome. She's just a tough one, a tough lady.
Yeah.
I don't know if just popping out of the bush. Ha! I'm here to play Australian rules. People just walk, hey, mate, we're going to go play some little footy, and then she just pops out. Bah!
It's not even
from behind a fucking shrubbery.
She does it nude, and it's not even vulgar because she's got so much ample bush. Everything's hidden.
Like, I guess we'll let her play then. I don't know. She popped out, and here she is. It's the only way she could. She couldn't like leave the house going, I'm going to play too. They're like, no, they leave her behind. She has to like hide along the way and just join the group. Here I am.
I'm the extra man.
Here we go. So Penny Bailey, daughter of Laurie Kerr, like we said, Laurie Kerr's her father. Laurie Kerr played 149 games for the Carlton Football Club in the 1950s. Okay. And he was named to the club's team of the century. So he's like a legend among that football club. Yeah, he was a good player, really, really good player. Vice captain, member of the team of the century. Yeah. He was kind of hot shit there. He was a big-time member of that team. Now, his first name is Lawrence, by the way, but they call him Laurie for some reason.
No.
Why would you do that? How about Larry?
It's Larry.
It's Larry.
There's no Lori.
There's no Lori. I'm going to start calling anyone I know named Larry Lori from now on. You're now Lori. Sorry. In Australia, you're Lori.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to inform you of that.
Dr. Larry Nesser, I guarantee, is now going by Lori.
Probably. He must. Even if it's not voluntary, he's still doing it.
He's definitely going by Lori.
So he plays in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
He was he went to St. Kevin's College, which is later on a bunch of the family members go there later on. It's all a big dynasty thing here.
Okay.
He was either a winger, a centerman, or a half-forward flanker.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what any of that is.
How do you get to be a half-forward?
A half-forward flanker. So that's like three different things.
Yeah.
You're half-forward,
right.
So you should be up there, but you're kind of here, and you're also a flanker, which is a totally separate position in American football. So I have no idea.
This is bizarre.
What the hell's going on? Prior to he played, like we said, he played for Carlton. He was a Victorian schoolboy sprint champion. There also in his time. So he's a very fast guy, very successful dude. Just a very successful dude. He ran a big PR firm when he retired. We'll talk a little bit. He's very successful. Just everything these people do, they succeed at. Whether it's football or business or anything, they just like, everything's great. And our kid's going to college and he's going to be drafted by what the fuck? What is happening?
But also named Lori.
Everybody I know, their kids are in therapy and it's a disaster and everybody's, we're trying to get them through.
Yeah,
and
I don't know anybody like this.
We're all trying to pull our kids through. Are either of your kids bound for this sort of easy greatness?
Well, no.
No. You're going to have to wrangle them. Yeah. Mine too. You have to wrangle them.
I'll be lucky if my kids do anything. Outside of video games, that's my son. He's a gamer. That's his. That's
which
weird.
Just means he's 10.
Just means he sits up at 2 o'clock in the morning calling a man with a wife a bitch. That's what he
That's
does.
What's hilarious.
And then my daughter...
he's calling people with mortgages fucking names.
Yeah. And then my daughter calls me a bitch. So it's all working out.
You have to really reevaluate your life. If you're the man playing at 2 in the morning, having a child call you a bitch, you have to go, where did I go? Where did I go wrong? What happened?
Watching the Super Bowl this year, because I sat up late a couple of times in the past, couple of months, playing an Xbox game with my sons and trying to figure out NBA 2K18.
Yeah.
Because I was too cheap to buy 19.
Well, but so the updated rosters anyway.
Like I give a fuck.
You don't care.
No.
You can always trade this one or that one.
I recognize like 19 players.
Yeah.
So I was up late at night and playing online, and some kids are calling me horrible names. I'm like, look, motherfucker, I don't know this game.
I'm trying.
Nice.
Be nice. Jimmy's on here trying to restore order at 2 in the morning with a bunch of fucking angry.
Then I watched the Super Bowl.
Caffeine-riddled children.
Then I watched the Super Bowl and I saw how they're outfitting children with disabilities how to play. I'm like, that's probably the kid that was calling me a bitch at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's the thing.
Kid's missing an arm and he's making fun of me. This is fucked up.
Yeah. He's better at football. Yeah. That's the prior basketball in this case.
Yeah, he dunked on me with Curry. This motherfucker.
Jesus Christ. With Curry even. That's
cross me up with Harden.
Jeez, what a dick. See these kids, imagine in 1955 if a 10-year-old boy called a grown man a bitch.
Oh, forget it.
He would beat him severely, then take him home to his father and go, I beat your son severely. And he'd go, good, I'm going to fucking finish the job. Thanks for starting him off.
Your son called me a bitch. That's why he's welted. Well, why isn't he bleeding?
I softened him up for you, and the dad would kick the shit out of you, too. You get beatings from anyone around for that. Now it's, we don't care. It's like, I don't know.
It's unfortunate.
Here. So now his Stephen's grandmother, this is his mother's mother here. Yeah. These are his mother's parents we're talking about. I don't know. His father didn't come from any great line of
Lori
shit.
didn't?
No, Lori. I'm talking Stephen's father.
Oh, okay.
Stephen's mother, Penelope Penny, she came from Lori and Vivian, who's her mother. And she is the #1 female ticket holder at this stadium for Carlton.
They keep track of that?
They do. They all have numbers for, quote, subscribers. I guess that's like season ticket holders. What? And I guess she, I don't know, has the most season tickets of anyone. She's a giant block of them, I guess.
I guarantee you the NFL doesn't give a fuck who has a ticket.
They don't care who has it. They're not keeping track of that shit. And corporations do, and they kiss their balls, but it's behind closed doors. It's not some lady like, I buy tickets for my family. Me whole family comes. And it doesn't know. It's not
the CEO of Pepsi, they keep track of that, but he overpays for those also. You know what I mean?
True.
He's paying like $30 million.
Yeah, it's true.
And this lady's paying $50 a game.
Yeah.
They aren't keeping track of that.
Not at all.
No.
And you have to understand, too, before we get into the whole Australian thing, because later on there's a lot of gossip and shit.
Yeah.
You have to understand Australia is a big, small town. The whole country is a big, small town.
Right.
Let me explain Australia before you go, there's 5 million people.
There's a
we
ton
get
of
it.
people here.
We know how many people are in the cities. The whole country has a population of 25 million people.
Whole country.
Whole fucking country.
That's not even New York City, guys.
That's New York, but that's like the Los Angeles
Don't they have 30
metropolitan.
million?
No. The state of New York doesn't have that many.
I thought there was 30.
No. State of New York doesn't have that many. But California, that's like basically like Southern California. But that's your whole country.
Do they have 30 million in LA?
Almost. Okay. It's a bit, not 30 million, but I think the whole metropolitan area is like 20 million or 18 million or something. So, I mean, if you add that and you throw in San Diego, there you go. That's Australia. Yeah. LA and San Diego is the entire country of Australia. So, it's kind of like their news and shit like that. Like, it's regional also, but it's also, everything is like a big, small town. It would be like an LA news broadcast. It would be, like a big, like the Robert Blake case or something in LA was like a big deal. Yeah. And so everybody followed it because it's like, that's their town. That's the whole country there. So it's really, we have to get that right away. It's not a giant population. That's so it's a different thing. And they're on an island. So
and
it's
they're
like,
all on the beach.
Yeah. They're all spread around.
The whole thing is just like a big
the
halo
middle's
of
empty.
people. Yeah.
Well, like this country, the middle's empty too. It's a weird, I know there's people there, but it's not, the density of it is not the same. If you look at a density map, it's by the fucking water. That's where people go. So that's where towns start and shit like that. So yeah, also, his mother's aunt is the president of the Women of Carlton Coterie Group.
What is a coterie?
I have no fucking idea.
How do you spell that?
Coterie. I think it's just I think they're like the supporters. I think they make all the coats. They sew them by hand and they send the boys off to battle in them. They send them off to battle in these coats. That's what it is. They're all dusty.
Sewing gold buttons on
one
shit.
Sleeve's longer than the other. It's wartime rations.
Or is it a coterie and they make all the cots?
Maybe that's what
possible.
Some sort of support group. Now his grandparents, Vivian and Laurie, were married forever. They met when they were teenagers, when he was 17 and she was 15. She said she thought she'd never see the guy again, but then she ended up seeing him again. Quote, she was stepping out of the surf in her woolen bathing suit. A woolen bathing suit? What the fuck are you wearing?
Is he wearing a bathrobe?
Is there no cotton in Australia? Did you just get cotton over there? What the hell is happening?
The woolen swimsuit in my head looks ugly.
It looks hanging off of you. When it gets wet too, it would like sag. They go make her look like she had a nutsack dangling down. Oh, that's a nice nutsack.
Did you shit in the water, mate?
So, so I guess she was a lifeguard, and he came to see her at work, and that was it.
A lifeguard wears wool,
like a woolen lifeguard outfit, because you're in and out of the water all the time. You think you'd have the best bathing suit going? Yeah. I got some cotton from the States. You'd say, we
lost another this week. I would have caught him, but my swimsuit dragged me down.
It sunk me right down to the bottom of the ocean. I was tangled in kelp. I apologize. That's what happens. Sorry.
I would have saved him.
How many woolen bathing suit deaths could have been avoided in Australia? I just want to know that right now. If you had cotton, or God forbid, Lycra. Jesus Christ. God forbid, Lycra! The population would be 30 million right now. It's 5 million in Lycra, non-Lycra cotton deaths. Woolen drownings, they call them over there. It's a very common thing.
Is her grandmother knitting her a fucking swimsuit?
I believe so.
What is that?
That just sounds like it would not be. It would drag down. You have to be pulling it up all the time.
Even if it's super tight.
And wouldn't it shrink in the sun afterwards if you went in the water, got back out in the hot Australian sun, and next thing you know, your nipples are covered?
Or the sun just dries it out and like stretches it further, and then the woolen loses its elasticity.
So everybody's walking around in a burlap sack, basically. My bikini burlap.
You ever gotten like a sweater wet and then it just like fucking It used to be on my wrists and now it looks like I'm fucking Stretch Armstrong.
Come to think of it, burlap would make a better bathing suit than wool. Basically anything would make a better bathing suit than wool. Anything.
Wool sounds terrible. I don't think I've ever seen a sheep swim.
No. Woolen what the fuck is wrong? You don't even get wool wet. You have to dry clean that shit. Like, what are you doing?
It's nuts. They're putting that shit in the ocean.
In salt water.
Right.
I don't know what to say.
My head is spinning
right now. So she said, Vivian said, quote, he never had another girlfriend and I never had another boyfriend.
Oh.
So they got married. They had 9 children.
Wow.
And 34 grandchildren.
Who has had that many grandchildren with their one-night stand? She didn't even expect to see him
one-night
again.
stand. Yeah, he liked the way their wool was hanging off her. And next thing you know, they're hooking up, and here we go. 9 children, 34 grandchildren. And this isn't like trailer trash 9 kids. Like they're spitting them out like, what are we going to do? I don't know. I guess we'll get more food stamps. This is these people had money and they were like taking care of all these people and they're all successful. And one of the 34 grandchildren is our guy, Steven.
Fantastic.
So also 24 great-grandchildren.
Jesus.
And so that's, wow. Now this is how successful they are. The grandmother, Vivian, bred a prize-winning herd of Angus cattle also during this whole thing, and was apparently big in the art community also, is a big art patron.
Jesus.
She has a bunch of paintings that are, I guess, popular in Australia. Some Australian people, I don't know.
Australian Whistler's mother.
Yeah, they're not popular in other parts of the world, a lot of the Australian artists, because for up until about 25 years ago, it was actually Australian law that every painting had to be of a man and a kangaroo. So, I mean, you could do different takes on interpretations and things like that, but it just didn't spread to the rest of the
boxing paintings.
It's the thing. It was a boxing glove. They're squaring off. They're at their arm around each other, playing poker. You know what I mean?
That kangaroo's always cheating.
Playing footsie under the table, like on a Ferris wheel box, going over a thing. There's a lot of different, the farmer couple with the pitchfork is one of those. With the, there's a lot of different interpretations, but in the end, it was law that it had to be a man and a kangaroo, and only. So
not a big market for that.
It's not a big market outside of Australia, obviously. So it happens. So now they're back into everything. So
once they dropped the ban on all the Aboriginal art,
that's the thing.
Once they started letting that shit go,
then
they started making some cash.
Yeah, absolutely. So now Laurie, Stephen's grandfather, was a newspaper journalist when he was young, very young. The Argus newspaper. They ended up sending him to the University of Melbourne to get a degree to be one of their journalists, but he ended up going there. He was going to get a master's degree, which he ended up getting later on, but he ended up being into athletics there, and he was really fast and ended up basically the Carlton football team persuaded him to try to play football.
Great.
Which they used to do even in American football in the 50s. If they had somebody who was in the 50s and 60s, they would sign them up. They would draft like Olympic sprinters in the 15th round that never have played football in their life, and they'd go, you never know. And sometimes it worked out. What's his name for the Cowboys? In 61, they drafted him, I think. He's a Hall of Famer. No, he's a...
That's all I got.
God damn it. I'm drawing a complete blank. Don't tweet me because I know it, and now I'm just drawing a blank. But he's a goddamn Hall of Famer. They started him out as a kick punt returner. He was a wide receiver, and he ran crazy fast. They drafted him like the 15th round on a whim, and he ended up saying, I'll give it a shot, and he could fucking play, which doesn't happen a lot, but that's kind of what happened to Laurie here. Okay. So later on,
Willie Stargell.
Definitely not Willie Stargell. I said fast.
Yeah, I'm just blurting names out now.
Willie Stargell looks like you had to pull him off the recliner to play come on, Willie, the game's starting in 5 minutes. He's like, oh, damn, shit. Let me put this down. He puts a Salisbury steak to the side, shuffles into the batter's box. All right, then. And then hits a home run because he was a great fucking player. Not too shabby. He was so the grandfather here he had journalism skills. He had a big public relations company afterwards, big PR company, which was called IPR. It was the name of it. I guess it's a giant PR firm there. He went to St. Kevin's College, like we said, and everybody from his family has gone there later on. Now, Stephen, on the other hand here, we'll talk about him. I don't know much about his young life. No. Everybody just says about him that he was always and there's so many of these kids running around in his family.
There's fucking 4 of them.
He was well-mannered, nice kid. Yeah. Basically, he's like a Kennedy.
He blended in.
He blended into the crowd. Yeah. He knew how to, I'm sure, like the Kennedys did, even if it was a rapist, they knew how to blend in at a garden party.
His salute and shorts was fantastic. nasty.
Hey, you rape after the garden party, not during. Come on now. Once the ice sculpture is melted to an unrecognizable state, then it's rape time.
Rape is on.
Then the rape is on. So,
when the swan heart necks turn into a bulb,
that's it.
Time.
It's over. So, Stephen here, he played reserve grade football, which I don't know what that is, for Carleton, which is what it is. I guess I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's like a practice squad guy.
Reserve grade
football in 2002, which he was only 19 years old. So I don't know if that's like I said, I don't know if that's like a D League team for them or.
The word reserve makes anything sound like a joke.
It does. Yeah. Reserve sounds like you're not actually playing.
Right.
Even though, basically how many every war we fought for the last 50 years fought by a lot of reserves.
we end up taking those fuckers then. You'll do.
Yeah, you're good. You go, shit.
Like police officer.
They said a weekend. Okay, never mind.
The guy said, I got a thing this weekend.
Yeah, he said I could play. Okay. Paintballs? No. Shit.
Live rounds, really? That's
what we're doing?
Fucking kidding me? What we're doing?
For real?
Yeah, I get to shoot shit.
I work in a telemarketing place.
I just made a ham and Swiss at this Subway. Listen,
I don't.
Sandwich artist, not sandwich artist / reservist. That's it.
You want me to do what now? Where?
You want me to kill others?
But I'll get sand in the sandwich. Oh, you want me to fight over there? Wow. Okay. I didn't realize.
No, I'm what they call a civilian reserve.
Shit.
You don't understand what that is?
Stay here, right?
Civilian is in the word.
I can look stuff up for you guys if you want. Like email if you want.
I'm great on Google.
I'm really good at that. I can Google shit for you. I can Yelp if you're looking for a restaurant around there. I can help you guys out with that. I don't know, but I got to work in the morning. So.
I got a shift.
Yeah.
I am scheduled, you guys.
So so what are you going to do? Once you're scheduled, you're scheduled.
Police officer reserve, deputy reserves, they're all a fucking joke.
It sounds bad. Yeah. Even if it's not, it sounds terrible. Yeah, it just sounds like you're good. Right. Like we fielded the team, and then if anybody breaks their leg, we'll give you a call. Like you're fine. Second tier. So, but I think that's just what it is when you're young there. They have certain ways to get you in. He played at Donvale. When he was called up to play reserve grade football for Carleton here. Right. He was playing at Donvale. Donvale, I have some information about them. They used to be Donvale United, apparently, which sounds like all the English soccer teams. Right. They started in 1971 as this is interesting. Yeah, they played in the Eastern Suburban Churches Football Association. That's a lot of
a church league.
A church league. Eastern Suburban Church, very specific church league. Only from the eastern. Well, you're from the northern suburbs. You can't play with us. No, your view of Jesus is way different than ours. Right. We're going to stick with people from the east. Thank you.
Well, that makes my son's Western Suburban Soccer Church League sound real fucking prestigious.
Well, you know what? Now they're going to fight.
Yeah,
now they're going to square off with these people, and
they
are
winners.
So all of the clubs had to be aligned with a church in this league.
Really?
That's how that worked for some reason. They all had to have like a church sponsor.
I hate that.
That's so fucking creepy and weird. I don't like it at all, which is weird. I thought Australia. Are you guys religious over there?
I don't. They do everything for the Queen. Is she their Jesus?
I'm wondering if it's like England, because in England, it's kind of like people are like their quote unquote. That's their religion, but they don't really take it all that seriously. It's kind of like that was pretty funny back in the day when people used to kill each other over that. I'm going to the store now. Like they don't really. They're not like over here where people are. We're a young country. People here are still like, this shit is real. Right. They're still screaming from the rooftops.
They have no idea.
But they don't. They're just they calm down.
They don't get how long ago that quote unquote story happened.
Over there with everything, like England, everything's just calm down. Relax. Even like with terrorism, they're like Irish used to blow shit up all the time, and we'd just move it off to the right lane and keep the traffic moving. We don't. We're persevering. The Nazis bombed us. Do you understand? We're fine. Right. Over here, where anything happens, oh my God. Oh, Jesus.
I saw a documentary about Amanda Knox, and after the thing was over, the Italian people were upset that we ridiculed their law. And then the guy was like, in 1308, this courthouse was built. I will hear nothing from America, because in 1308, they were drawing fucking cattle on caves there. They can just stow it. You're not going to tell us about law.
We had society. Right. We had an aqueduct running. We had
lawyers
running
for
water.
Sake, right?
Understand how that worked? those philosophical state. They're all from like here and Greece and this region generally.
Because we're drawing cattle on cave walls. That's how they view us, by the way.
Yeah.
They view us as monkeys still because we're idiots.
Oh, well, yeah, over here, we're new. We're very new. Right. That's the thing. England looks at us new. How do you think they look at Australia, though?
Jesus.
They look at Australia even worse.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, at least we kicked their ass in a war.
Right.
Australia didn't do anything. They've done nothing to humble England,
Except run from them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they were running so much as if they were placed.
Away, yeah.
So,
Whatever.
So, this Donvale team here, they ended up playing in the VFL, which is the Victorian Football League, which is what it says, the major state level Australian rules football league in Victoria. Okay. But it's not the AFL, which is the main one. That's like the NFL.
Okay.
I don't know. There's so many leagues, dude. I can't even fucking put it.
That's how much they love the Queen, is that they're naming football leagues after this woman.
Well, there's a lot of Victoria's.
Victoria's everything there. That's a big fucking word there to them. How long till they tell England to go fuck themselves? Is there a lease or something?
I don't know if it's like Hong Kong.
Yeah. Is there some sort of fucking treaty?
I don't know, because Canada won't either.
Yeah,
Canada's too polite, though. They're not going to tell. But Canada's over there. They don't need England at this point.
Yeah,
what do they need England for?
You figured it out on your own.
You're good. Yeah. You guys are doing fine up there.
You got it.
Fuck off. You'd have to make all new money then at that point. It'd be a huge pain in the ass, I guess. Maybe
put your beavers on.
It's just, I think they're just polite. Yeah. They've probably had meetings about it in Canada.
I guarantee it.
They're like
that handsome Trudeau guy's like, I would make a great face for money.
How do we say it? Right. I mean, what do we do? And they're like, oh, hey, that's going to be real tough. It's going to be
fuck yourself. We can't say that, eh?
Oh man, it's going to be uncomfortable. They're not going to be happy with us. Hey, no, I don't think we're going to do that. No, let's just keep it the way it is for now. Yeah. Maybe they'll just let us go one day. It's cool.
Maybe we send Celine Dion to sing her a song.
That's all. So, rather than Vegas, she can play London for the next every fucking night for the rest of eternity. And
that's your penance.
They'll eventually return.
So you guys keep her and your own place.
Yeah,
it's all yours.
And Mike Myers wants to make 7 more Austin Powers movies, so we're gonna have him do that over there too. Can have that guy too. There you go. Maybe, wants to make Master of Disguise Part 2. So that was him, right?
That was Dana Carvey. Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Literally the same thing.
My favorite story about Dana Carvey is he doesn't work now because he got a bypass done and the doctor bypassed the wrong valve, and now that guy sued him and then got the other one fixed.
Jesus.
He has a shitload of money.
So he's like Tracy Morgan?
Isn't that fucking great? Minus a Walmart truck.
I love the comedians in cars getting coffee where he's with Tracy Morgan and he goes to Tracy Morgan's house. And Tracy Morgan is basically his house looks like the same thing as on 30 Rock. Right. Like he's the same character. Like
killing it.
He's got this insane, ridiculous mansion. Right. It's like a museum inside. He's got Michael Jackson's glove in a glass case and all that type of shit. It's the weirdest thing. He's got a bunch of Lamborghinis and shit parked outside his house. And Jerry Seinfeld's like, Jesus, you're trying to spend all your money, aren't you? And he just looks at him and he goes, the truck was Walmart, Jerry. They got a couple dollars. And then he gets in the car. It's like, that's what he said. The truck was Walmart, Jerry.
It was Walmart, not a Walgreens truck.
This was not a fucking Dollar Tree truck that hit me. This was Walmart. If you're going to get hit by an 18-wheeler, do it right.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the guy right there to hit. So, everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. Oh. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns. We see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had. And, of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there. And we put what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you need a laugh right now. So get in there, listen to Small Town Murder, follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
Yeah, the VFA, the Victorian Football League, is the second oldest Australian rules football league, which it's, I don't know what it is. It called it, I guess it was the top level of, it was like the top one until later on when the Australian Football League was created. The creation of this is what it says here. The creation of the Australian Football League from the previous Victorian Football League in 1990 it's a mess. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I really don't.
It's like Afghanistan. This is a quagmire of shit.
Okay.
Hodgepodge.
I'm going to read you a paragraph. Okay. And knowing nothing about, now people in Australia that know football will be like, well, yeah, that makes sense. But to everyone else here, this is what I'm trying to make sense of while I'm trying to figure out a crime thing at the same time. The creation of the Australian Football League from previous Victorian Football League in 1990 had left a structural void within the heartland of Australian rules football with no Victorian state-based competition to provide a player pathway to the elite under-18s TAC Cup competition.
Yeah.
Whoa. In 1995, it was announced that a new state-based competition would be formed to be named the Victorian Football League, as was its predecessor. So first, this is what I get. The old Victorian Football League that was around since the 1800s kind of folded into the AFL and became the top one. And then they were like, well, now shit, we need a B tier.
Right.
And so then they made another Victorian Football League again. They started that over again.
To farm up the kids.
Yeah. It'd be like if they had a USFL and it was around for 100 years back in the day, then it went out of business, and then like 6 years later, they were like, we really could have used that right now. Let's start it again. So that seems to have happened.
This is for under 18s is what this was used for.
I suppose. Each club would be linked to a TAC Cup club and recruiting zone, of which there would be 8 based in metropolitan Melbourne, 4 in regional Victoria. Initial speculation was that some of the surviving VFA clubs would be invited along with a strong number of stronger metropolitan and regional clubs. So I assume and it goes on, and I have no idea. Box Hill's results in the initial VFL years between 96 and 99 showed a club which remained competitive but was not able to win enough games to qualify for the finals, because we're going to talk about Box Hill in a minute here.
Right.
Box Hill was granted the license for the eastern zone of metropolitan Melbourne. Okay, then. The teams in this league are Box Hill. They are the Box Hill Hawks.
Yeah.
We have the KC Demons. We have the Coburg Lions. I don't know what the fuck's up with that.
Like high school football teams.
Yeah, we have. The Collingwood Reserves. That's
all right.
They're the Magpies, which we've talked about before. We have the Bombers here. The Jesus Christ. I don't even know what to say here. The Footscray Bulldogs.
The what?
The Footscray Bulldogs.
Is that the place?
I suppose so. They're not. Yeah, Bulldogs. They're not from
like a breed of
Footscray.
Yeah.
They're from Footscray. I don't know what the fuck is up with that, but they're from Footscray. The Frankston Dolphins. The South Geelong Cats, which we've talked about before.
Geelong's
I know that.
a popular place.
North Melbourne Kangaroos. Somebody's got to be the fucking Kangaroos. I mean, that's like
they go by the Roos.
It's like the Lions or the Bears or something. Someone's got to be them. How do you not in Australia? And also the Northern Blues, which there's another team there. Port Melbourne Borough. What the fuck? Borough is the name of that's their
like a donkey.
No,
or like the boroughs of New York,
like fucking Queens, like Brooklyn.
Isn't that like
that's
a hole?
Their nickname.
Isn't that like considered a hole?
Port Melbourne Borough. Okay. All right then. The Richmond Reserves Tigers, and what the hell is this? Sandringham. Sandringham.
Sangrenham?
Zebras.
Oh.
Yes. So there you go. There's a couple other teams too. The Tigers, the Seagulls, the Williamston Seagulls, and the Werribee. Werribee. Werribee.
Yeah.
Werribee Tigers. So that's the team there. Now, Stephen Bailey.
I love that they put B on the end of so many words there.
They love it. Yeah, they just stick them on there. I have no idea what the hell's going on here. B-E-E. B. Yeah. Now, Stephen Bailey played for Box Hill, the Box Hill Hawks in the VFL for a few years here. He was the winner in 2004 of the Best and Fairest.
Oh.
The winner of Best and Fairest, which is a designation, is the definition, designation given to the most attractive and supple young man by the Australian Bureau of Pedophilia. So, take that. I don't know what, that's a very odd award to give.
I was in right up until he said pedophilia. I was like, no, they didn't.
The most supple young man.
That sounds like something Australia would do.
I just pictured a government board sitting around going,
not supple enough.
He's a little too muscular. I like it just a little, you know what I mean? I want to be able to pinch something off of him. There we go.
Perch.
There we go. That's, I don't think it's pink enough. Most attractive and supple young. The ABP, the Australian Bureau of Pedophilia. Sorry.
That is fantastic.
I couldn't help myself. That's what I automatically thought of.
I see him doing it. I was right on board right up until you said pedophilia.
PowerPoint presentation, just clicking from kid to kid, like as they're like running with the ball, like in a pose.
Now, if there was sprinklers on that boy, he's in.
Oh, he's a nice one. Oh, yeah. Look at that one, mate.
I'm crying.
We have a winner. Best and Fairest. He's the one. There he is.
He is fair.
Jesus Christ. What the hell is wrong with us?
They say it through their teeth.
Yeah. Best and Fairest.
They're grinding in the corner of a desk.
You can't call him Best and Fairest.
No.
You can't. Who's the fairest of them all? That's Snow White. It's just, that's where.
That's legit. He won that.
The title of the award is the Best and Fairest.
No, you can't do that.
And he won it in 2004.
I was going backward in my head right now. Where did the truth stop?
No. The truth. He definitely won the Best and Fairest at 2004 while playing for Box Hill. Okay. Everything else is a lie. Has nothing to do with his attractiveness or suppleness, and there is no Australian Bureau of
Although I want there to be one now.
So bad. I want to see their shield, their official letterhead and shit.
Their Australian NAMBLA.
Their logo. That's what it is. It's Australian NAMBLA. I almost wrote that and I'm like, no one will know, because I'll say NAMBLA at a live show about something, because there was something in a live show that it came up and nobody, fucking 10% of the audience knew what NAMBLA was. Never mind. So, yeah, Australia.
And we're not telling you. You got to Google it.
We want you on, we want you on a list. As many lists as I am. I had to search. The things I had to... Wait till you see what I had to Google later on. I had to Google the Australian sex party, which is not a sex party.
No?
It is not. It's not pornography at all.
We'll talk about it. Party?
It's very weird. No, it's not. No, it's not. That would be awful.
Oh, Jesus.
So it actually, the Best and Fairest sounds like a title that some group, a dickhead asshole group of frat boys would give, who they consider to be the biggest blowjob giver in the connected sorority. Right. You have to blow the whole house, you win Best and Fairest. Right. I feel like that's how that is. Either one. So, Best and Fairest, actually, in some, it's judged to have the best performance in a game or over a season for a given sport or sporting club or competition. It's a general Australian term for this whole thing here. In Australian Football League, the Brownlow Medal, which I think Ben Cousins won, is awarded to the player who
sold it.
He did, yes, he did. And then he had meth up his ass. This man also has something in his underwear later that he
Great.
So, this is crazy what he does later on. So I guess it's for player who has not been suspended during the season and receives the most votes from the umpires for being the fairest and best player in games during the home and away season. In each game, the umpires award 3 votes to the player they judge to be the best afield in that game, 2 votes to the second best player, and 1 vote to the third best player. And the votes are counted at a gala function. Full of pedophiles, wall to wall, preceding the grand final, which is the last game there. The eligibility of suspended or reprimanded players due to minor offenses to win the award has frequently been questioned. So basically, the umps have to think you're not a dick.
Right.
So you have to be like nice to the referees, and because they can see how everybody's playing if they're cheap players or whatever. So best and fairest is you're good and you're not a piece of shit too.
Okay.
You're not a cheap player. I don't know.
They should know. They're down there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he wins best and fairest in 2004 for the Box Hill Hawks under the coaching of Andy Collins.
Great.
And Grace.
Yeah.
This is Grace.
That's it?
This is great. Best and fairest. It's all downhill from here, babe. It's going down.
Great.
Now he ended up playing also for the SANFL, which is has the team Norwood on it. We'll talk about that's the South Australian National Football League here, which it's based in the state of South Australia. Obviously, there it's not too hard to figure out.
Yeah.
Now
there's 7, right? Is that the number
of teams?
No, states.
I believe so. Yeah. We went over it in a small town murder.
I'm trying to remember.
We didn't fuck it all up.
I'm real bad at this.
It's hard enough keeping track. You think there's oil in Florida, so we're gonna other countries. We're gonna save that for another time.
Lucky number 7. That's where I'm going.
I think you're right, though. As a matter of fact. So he plays for Norwood there. Apparently, it's so funny when you look up Norwood, they have it broken down. Like any team, if you look it up on like Wikipedia, it'll be like, this coaching era. They go through like eras. Like if it was the Celtics, it would be like the championship years, 1962 to whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
When he plays there, it is 2000 to 2009, quote, tough times. Tough times for Norwood. We'll find out here. Quote, the euphoria of the 1997 grand final victory would be short-lived, with the club only making it to another grand final once over the next decade, losing to Port Adelaide. The decade would see club revenue reduced to its minimum extent as the AFL took an economic hold of the of football in the state.
Okay.
So nobody came. During this time, the club picked up only its 6th wooden spoon and its first for over 3 decades.
What?
I have no fucking idea.
You win wooden spoons?
You win wooden spoons. 6 of them.
When I was growing up, a wooden spoon was a bad thing.
My grandmother's from Italy.
Yeah.
A wooden spoon meant you're getting your ass whooped.
You're in trouble.
Like a lot.
You fucked up.
Yeah, for imitating her. Which, what do you think of that, Grandma? That's right. She loves it now. She thinks it's fucking great now. She loves it. She came to a live small town murder, and I imitated her, and everybody cheered for her, and she thought it was the greatest goddamn thing in the world. So you know how many beatings I took for that as a kid? You
earned it.
My Jimmy, stop imitating me. And she'd chase me around the fucking place. Now it's like, oh, imitate me. Show everybody what you,
show everybody.
Show them what you're doing at the thing. When I was a kid.
That's fantastic.
When I was a teenager, we would do at a family function in Pennsylvania. We went down there and they had a basement and a regular floor.
Yeah.
And the regular floor, basement was all anybody under 50 that was drinking and playing pool and all sorts of shit. And this included I was a teenager and our parents were in the younger group even. Whereas above on the second story it was Italian speaking quarters. It was all Italian speaking, card playing, very grim up there.
Yeah.
And my grandmother came down and yanked me and my cousin Jesse up there, and she said, come here. Blah, 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 blah. We're like, what do you want? What do you want? She puts us in front of this group of stern-faced fucking Italian speaking and women sitting at this table, and she goes, show them this. And she goes, you do the magic trick and you imitate me. So what?
You're the entertainment.
What are we, the fuck? That's what we said. We were like, what are we, the entertainment here? She goes, you imitate me. You do the magic trick. So I said, all right, Jess, you're up first. I made him do the magic trick, which they were thoroughly unimpressed with because they don't give a shit. They're old people. They didn't care.
In your other hand. Fuck you.
I came in and did a grandma that brought the fucking house down to where they were laughing, and they'd say, say this. Make her say this. They'd say, make her say this.
Make her say
this. They thought it was like a toy. Like I can make her say whatever she wants now from this kid. kid.
Jimmy's got a pull cord now.
Yeah, so it was good shit. I was like, how do you like it? My cousin Jesse just sat there the whole time. I was like, that's right, Jess. Patted him on the back, walked off. He's like, yep. Take that, fucker. So buried him.
Paulie, get in here. Jimmy's doing something. Vinny, come in here.
Vinny, yes,
Yeah.
that was Jesse's stepfather's name was Vinny.
Of course.
There's like 5 Paulies. Vinny was also the house we were at. Their son's name was Vinny. Sons' names were Vinny, Nikki, and Carly. So that's how that works.
God, Jesus, this is fantastic.
And then there's Tommies everywhere. I'm as stereotypical as it gets.
It is no wonder they gave them nicknames. This
Absolutely,
is just ridiculous.
Everybody's named fucking Tommy and Jimmy and Paulie. How the fuck are you supposed to do
That's why
anything?
those are the best names. That's why the
everybody is
the
those
normal names like Mark, Paul, Tom. Whatever, that shit is how kids should be named because you nickname them to tell them different.
Yeah, it's true.
Right, and then they earn that goddamn name.
That's right. It's better than
Or
just
it's
being
something bad.
If your name's just something silly, then they have to call you that.
And they have
then
to call you fucking, I don't know.
You get nothing.
Caden. They got to call you that
There's no
shit.
nickname for Caden.
They got to call you Cooper the rest of your life.
They'll call you Cooper. I know what the nickname for Caden would have been when I was a kid. Tell you right now what the nickname for Caden would have been when I was in 6th grade or so.
That's hilarious.
So,
gonna go through the rest of your life being called queer?
No one wants that. So, Jesus Christ. So the South Australian National Football League is the oldest surviving football league of any type in Australia, and is one of the oldest football competitions in the whole world. There's only a few before that were there in the whole entire world. It's a very old league. They have a bunch of teams here: Adelaide Crows, another Bulldogs, another Tigers, another Roosters. They have Adelaide, North Adelaide, Port Adelaide, South Adelaide. Literally, those are team names, all of them. The Panthers, the Magpies, the Redlegs. There's multiple Magpies there too.
What's a Redleg?
The Redleg is Norwood.
Okay.
That's actually who our guy is playing for here.
It's got to be a bird, right?
Who the hell?
A Redleg?
They don't wear red socks. No, they do. They do. They have red and blue uniforms because I think these are the ones with the all blue. I've looked at so many of these uniforms
That's
today.
hilarious if they wear tall red socks because of it.
The Red Legs. Well, I mean the Red Sox or the Red Sox. They wore red socks. That's pretty simple shit there.
Lots of thought put in that one.
Yeah. The Sturt Double Blues, which is kind of cool. Then the West Adelaide Bloods. West Side, motherfucker.
Yeah.
West Side. They call them the Westies, which is a violent Irish gang in the 1800s, or the Bloods, which is a violent fucking non-Irish gang in the 1900s.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Today.
Either way, they'll cut you. The Woodville West Torrens, Woodville West Torrens Eagles. Jesus. Woodville West Torrens? I know they're two separate places, but they play at the Woodville Oval. So all these teams play in an oval. I guess that's like stadium there.
Yeah, I mean, a stadium is oval, so that makes sense.
They all call it the oval. Yeah. It's all everything. Hickenbottom Oval, Alberton Oval, Norwood Oval. All ovals. It's all goddamn ovals. So, Steven playing here. Steven has like long, bright blonde hair, by the way. He has got like long, crazy hair. I guess they say Steven was a two-sided player who covered heaps of territory, is what they said.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of this shit means, and I'm not going to, watch enough Australian football to know shit like this.
Right.
For one episode.
I'm out after scrum.
So that was rugby, by the way.
Oh, close enough.
Rugby. We were in the scrotum of rugby. Everyone getting the scrotum, everybody. Right. We're going to pull apart now. So, in his 3 seasons with Norwood, the Redlegs, he kicked 22 goals in 54 games.
Great.
Is that good?
I think.
That's some goals?
Is it a high scoring game?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I know the games do have high scores. I saw one team beat another team by 59 points. So, I mean, that's got to be high.
Okay, so but they've got higher points for different things.
Yeah, I don't know. Kicking a goal, I don't know if that's
kicking a goal is over that goalpost thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but I'm not sure if that's a lot of goals.
Is that 3 points
or little goals?
Right.
That's what I mean. Is that 3? Is that 7? Does it have anything to do with that shit? Is it 6? Is it 2? We have no idea. I just know those guys in the suits on TV when I was a kid would like point their fingers down.
Right.
They'd look like old gangsters. That's all I knew.
Calling fouls.
Yeah, they call it when it was good.
That's a good?
They'd come out like a cigarette hanging out of their mouth and just, they put their fingers down, and that meant good. They're like out. They put
in a suit?
They wore suits, and they'd come out dead serious, and they just go, and they put their fingers down, and that meant it was good, and then everybody would celebrate and drink and punch each other and find out who was the most supple boy. That was
and they do celebrate with
and vote on the suppleness of children.
And then they look at us and go, "Why are they burning the city down, mate? That's weird."
That's the thing. Yeah,
you guys do it in each other's face. Yeah, that's all.
But then that's how they get their aggression out, and then they don't burn shit down. That's the thing.
Maybe
if we were allowed to punch each other more. Because you could throw a Chicken McNugget at someone here, and that's assault.
Yeah,
they'll file an assault
yeah.
charge. That's ridiculous.
Right.
It should just be, did you deserve to get punched in the face? He had it coming.
What'd you do?
Had it coming. Law should be. Mother, you should have shut the fuck up then. Probably. I don't know. Don't fight with people if you don't know if you can win, dummy. That's my fucking biggest pet peeve ever, man. I used to be a fucking bouncer for years back in the day when I was like 21, and I used to hate that shit, that people would get in fights and then they'd want the cops to come in and be like, I saw you start a fucking fight. Right. Whatever happens to you is your fault. I'm sorry.
You started
dummy.
A problem you can't fix.
Fucking
That's
idiot. I don't know why two adult people can't agree to fight each other without there being the law involved.
That's a good point.
These are two adults and they agreed to fight each other. That's a personal decision. If I decided to run myself as fast as I could into the wall to hurt myself, that's my decision. The law doesn't need to be involved.
That's a fascinating point. That is why society is
fucking terrible.
Is soft.
Oh God!
Because you can't
preach it.
You make a decision, and then you go, well, that outcome wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
So now I have to have retribution
with everything.
That's silly.
I swear to God, and I'm not talking. You should be able to fucking pummel someone who doesn't want to be in a physical altercation.
I'm
not talking about that. But if you're in a fucking fight with someone, an altercation, and you say, "I'd like to fight," and he goes, "Fuck yeah, let's step outside." Nobody's going to jail. I don't care what happens. Unless weapons come out or something. Normal punches and kicks and things, normal course of fighting events. You agreed to it.
Get it all on camera.
Don't give a shit. Yeah. You both agreed to it. I don't care. Maybe we could have a little form we all have to sign when we do that.
Is there an app there should be an app for this?
Yeah.
You can swipe left and right on strangers' faces. Why can't you be like fighting you?
Why can't we all agree?
We fight.
Two adults agree to a fight. I don't understand it. If we film it and pay both people, it's fine. So what's the difference? Jesus Christ, man. You're allowed to strap yourself to a fucking engine with two wheels in Arizona with no helmet on or pads or seatbelt or anything and fly down the road at 65 miles an hour.
Faster.
75 and launch yourself. That's allowed, but you can't agree to fight another grown man.
God,
okay. No. That's we haven't gone in another.
That's dangerous.
That's exactly. That's my point.
Somebody could get killed, James.
Something could really happen there. Someone could hit their little head.
Right. And the whole point is that one of those people could really beat the shit out of the other. But what if neither of them know how to fight? I want to watch that.
That's a great fight.
That's the fight I want to watch.
No one should go to jail for that. Who should go to jail for two people swinging wildly windmill style at each other?
I have no idea where they're connected.
Trying to get each other in headlocks. Why is that bad? Why does someone have to go to jail for that? I don't understand. That's just funny. We can all watch that and be entertained.
And we can all laugh.
Yeah, I don't understand. In the Old West, you could shoot someone and they'd be like, well, fair fight. I don't know. Well, they both agreed to it. Fair fight. And they'd walk away and go, well, fuck them, I guess.
It's a fair fight.
Fair fight. It was legal. That's what I mean. That was fine. Now it's like you could touch somebody and it's like, oh, Jesus, that's assault. I don't know. So anyway, Stephen, his coach, Trevor Hill, one of his coaches at Norwood, said, quote, he was quite a driven professional footballer who worked hard on his fitness. Mm-hmm. He was very quiet and unassuming and popular.
All right.
So everybody liked him. Yeah. Apparently when he came on board with Norwood in 2005, they had a lot of high expectations for him because of who his grandfather was and because he had been playing well. And they were like, okay, he was fucking fairest.
Yeah.
He's the most supple guy going. So they're like, this is going to be great.
He's supple and Lori Stock.
Oh, we got a supple guy coming in from Box Hill there.
Oh, yeah.
So, Jesus Christ, most supple man in Box Hill.
Box Hill sounds like where you get some supple.
That sounds like where the suppleness would be.
Head on up to Box Hill, you get you some supple.
Box Hill, it's like a red light district down in West Adelaide. We call that Box Hill.
Yeah.
It's the other one. No, the other one is just Snatch Way. That's all it is. It's Box Hill. Anyway, so fans seem to like him there. I found some message boards from the time with fans talking about him.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the best way to know.
Like some MySpace shit?
What people, just internet message boards, just, under, football club. They all have their own little, like, supporter message boards and shit like that. One is, quote, I've only really noticed him in one game recently when we played him, his team, obviously, not them personally. Right. Was an expert at picking up cheap kicks in the back pocket. Don't know what the fuck that means. After we had kicked a point. Got a lot of disposals and didn't do a hell of a lot, but he did kick a brilliant snap goal from a ball up.
All right.
I know what none of that means. All I got was that the word kick. I understand.
Yep.
I got that part, and that this guy played him.
Did you say in the back box? That sounds gross.
Cheap kick in the back pocket.
Oh, back pocket.
After we kicked a point. I don't know what that means, and a lot of disposals. Well, I don't know what that is either.
Don't look at me.
Dispatch a man till his death. I don't understand how that works.
It is a lot of execution at the center of the pitch. Is it a pitch? I don't even know what it is.
It's an oval.
Yeah, that's right. It isn't.
Damn oval.
It isn't played in an oval.
So another one is, quote, Bailey is a complete cheat when it comes to accountable footy. Doesn't man up too well and tries to get the easy kicks all the time. He's more noticeable because of his blonde hair. In the VFL, Zorzi was a far better player. Captain of his side, 3-time BNF winner for the Bullants. I don't know what the hell that is. 100 game player and state rep player. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. More shit about Lewis.
Yeah.
But apparently they didn't.
Sounds like the fans fucking hate him.
They did. Well, a bunch of people are like, he seems okay. And Andrew Collins, who was his coach there, said that he was considered to be a leader by young players, by like the younger guys.
Yeah.
And he was considered like a role model for them.
Oh.
Apparently he was a real fitness nut. Kept himself in insane shape. Like they said, he was just so into fitness and being in shape and wanted to be the best in shape guy out there and never wanted to run out of gas. And so they never had a problem with his motor. Okay. That's all coaches want. Yeah. Coaches, if you read books about shit like football and stuff like that, American football, all they want's motor.
Yeah.
I mean, they want skills, obviously, too, but they just want someone who never stops. That's all they're looking for is an unrealistic human being.
But don't do drugs to get there. Don't you
God,
dare.
no. Jesus Christ. If you're hurt, you better play through it and don't do drugs for that either. Good Lord.
So he sounds like he's
do drugs, but don't smoke weed.
Yeah.
God forbid.
Don't do illegal ones.
Here's a shitload of opiates.
Right.
Weed, you're suspended. Josh Gordon. How dare you? People talk about Josh Gordon like he killed 3 women.
Right.
They talk about him like he's Ray Rice. They talk about him like he's fucking, what was the other? The defensive lineman. I can't remember his name.
I don't know. Like
slammed the woman's head in the toilet bowl.
Right.
Fucking, what is wrong with my name drawing skills today? I forgot fucking the Hall of Fame Cowboys player. I'm forgetting the guy who, it was like 2 years ago this whole thing happened. Defensive lineman, then the Cowboys signed him. Never mind. Jesus Christ, I can see his face. I want to punch it. He's an asshole.
There's a ton of them that beat the shit out of their wives.
Yeah.
But this guy's a fucking, he's an animal.
Yes.
But Josh Gordon also has a Super Bowl ring. So
that's
good for him.
I just don't understand. They act like they'll be people who beat their wives, beat their girlfriends, do crazy shit. You see these shows where people will be sitting there going, well, I mean, you got to give the guy a second chance, and we don't know what's going on in people's relationships. Josh Gordon smokes weed a few times, and they're like, my God, what the fuck is wrong with that guy? Jesus Christ, he got to get his life together. I heard Stephen A. Dickbag Smith on one time.
He said he's got to get his
life together, things like this, and he's just not together. I'm never been more disappointed in a young man, and blah, blah, blah. He smoked weed a couple times. Leave him the fuck alone. If he went out, If he went out and got shit-faced and fucking ran his car into a fucking embankment, they'd be like, that's sort of disappointing, but, we'll get help.
We need to really get Dante Stallworth back into some rehab and then get him back on the field.
He killed a man. Right. Yeah. Josh Gordon doesn't do things, doesn't get arrested because he's got weed. Right. He just smokes weed and then they catch him doing it.
Right.
Who cares?
Meanwhile, Stephen A. Smith, you get your life together. The man smoked weed. He played like 4 downs this year, and he got himself a Super Bowl ring. That's the easiest.
That's great.
I'd love to have a road to the Super Bowl like that.
And I'd like to see you run half as fast when you're stoned, Stephen A. Smith. Shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit.
See if you can catch it. Fuck running. See if you can catch a football.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If you got a guy running a 4.3 40 catching a football at that speed, and you're going, he's stoned? Amazing. Fucking amazing.
Can you imagine what he'd do if he didn't smoke weed?
I don't care if he didn't or not. He's great now. This. Fuck, this is great. Jesus.
Somebody get him a bong.
Somebody, please. So he plays for a few years in Norwood here, Stephen does, and then he transfers to West Adelaide, where he plays 40 games between 2008 and 2011. Okay. That was, Andrew Collins was his coach in Adelaide, there. He plays there. The West Adelaide, that's in the South Australian National Football League that we talked about. That's the Bloods and the Westies, as they're known as. So he's a Blood and a Westie.
I love it.
And he has long blonde hair. So that's pretty goddamn funny here. So after that, he ends up in 2011. He has 6 reserve games with West Adelaide, and then he kind of drifts away from football.
Okay.
He returns to Melbourne to live, where his family is from, and he's, like we said, he's got this big giant family, and everybody's famous. He works a lot as a personal trainer. He's got a personal trainer business because his name is good, and he's
into fitness,
and that's the thing. He's in phenomenal shape. Everybody says he's God, and nobody on the team in better shape than this guy. So he's in great shape, and he's an athlete and a recently retired footballer. So I mean, that's
that guy.
That guy knows how to get in shape. So he ends up doing that. He's also a tennis coach a little bit.
Oh no.
Also, which is a weird thing, and I guess for a bunch of people were saying he got really into the tennis coaching, like to where he was more interested in that than football.
Go on.
Which is strange. I don't know how that works, but maybe he was good at tennis coaching and his skills were waning at football. I'm not sure.
You question guys like that, though.
Yeah, you're like, what do you want to do that for? So, he's a tennis coach, and also he's a big into swimming and hiking and shit like that.
Okay.
He's an outdoorsy, doing stuff.
Cardio-loving motherfucker.
Yeah, he's exhausting to me. He sounds exhausting.
Yeah.
I couldn't even watch him do his shit on TV. I'd be tired. This is just too much action. I need something calmer.
Don't film this show, Outdoor Channel.
Let me get that sleeve of trefoils. Thank you. Those are these shortbread Girl Scout cookies.
I'm going to eat them because, listen, he burned all my energy for me.
I'm done.
I've earned these.
I've earned them, goddammit. I'm taking them. I'm a fiend for shortbread cookies, Jimmy. Any kind of shortbread cookie. Yeah. I love a plain cookie. I don't like frosting and sprinkles and shit.
I'm that way with crackers.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I'm very plain with stuff.
Fucking rice crackers, and then those big circles that have just a little bit of holes in them. They look like a saltine, only thinner and no salt.
Interesting.
They're fucking amazing.
I need some salt. I like some salt.
Right. I just like no flavor.
No flavor.
I want the flavor of the cheese.
That I can see. I mean? Oh, okay. Well, if it's got a cheese flavor, that's fine.
I love different cheeses and putting them shits on
well, that makes sense then. You're not just eating plain.
No. It's that I just don't want to taste the cracker. I want to taste what's on it.
I like a.
But if I'm just eating the cracker, because I'll eat those little boxes of Healthy Choice. They're rice crackers. The box, you pick it up and you're like, is there even any fucking thing in here? And
throw it out.
Yeah.
I think we're out of this.
I threw away 6 boxes.
I think we're all out. I'm sorry.
But I'll eat the whole goddamn box because it weighs nothing.
Yeah,
it's a trick.
Cares? Yeah. That's fucking funny.
I love them.
Meanwhile, I ate an entire fucking box of trefoils last night. I was playing video games with my son.
30,000 calories.
Probably. Yeah. I need it. I've been trying to gain weight, so I need that. That's why I have them.
Yeah.
That's Sarah's been loading me up. She gets me all sorts of shit.
Grabbing those girls out front of the grocery store door.
Come on, let's go. Yeah. No, she ordered them online from one of our listeners. Actually,
oh, great.
One of our listeners was selling them.
Amy Pohanik?
I think it was Amy Pohanik. Yeah, she ordered them from her. Yeah, so that's nice.
In Denver, she's got selling those shit.
There you go. Then that's what I think who it was. I'm not sure. So so he returns. He's in Melbourne. Melbourne. He's hiking and swimming and coaching tennis and being a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And basically just watching people bend over a lot, it seems like, in that deal there. Now, people who know him, while he was playing football, he was always just considered a very good team player. Nobody had anything aberrant to say about him. No one was like, well, he kind of did this once in a while, for good or for ill. It was just like, people liked him. They respected him. He did his job.
Sure.
Everything was fine. Like people in, rich kids and families like that who were brought up to just in public, everything's fine, does his thing. But also people who know him kind of away from sports describe him as complex and, quote, a deep thinker. They all say he's a deep he doesn't sound like a deep thinker.
No.
The only things he does involve cardio, which isn't the most thoughtful thing to do.
But it gives you time alone to actually do some thinking.
That's true. But you have to have the capacity to think for it to matter.
Yeah, because the only thing I'm thinking when I'm doing that shit is my lungs are on fucking fire.
That's what, So it's, I think.
And this sucks. I hate cardio so much. When I was going, listen, obviously I don't go to the gym. I used to go a lot. I was going every day because my kid was swimming, so I was at the gym anyway. And I'd be on that goddamn treadmill or whatever, just thinking, why am I doing this? It's just torture. I can't imagine doing that and enjoying it.
No,
I don't know people that can.
And every time I see somebody live to like 94 and then they die and they didn't do any of that shit, I'm just like, you son of a bitch.
You won.
You
cheated it.
You won. Dude smoked till he was 91. When I see people like elderly people smoking, I'm like, fuck yeah, you fucking made it, man. Think about that.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. If you're 90 and you're smoking, you fucking beat the system.
You earned it.
You're outliving people who didn't smoke. You're doing great. Even if the cigarettes kill you now, what, are you going to live another 5 years of elderly? Who cares?
Right.
You're going to sit on the couch for another 5 years? Yeah. You win, man.
My lungs don't really expand very well at 90, but I'm still getting smoke into them.
Beautiful.
Good for you.
Good for you.
You're doing
I love that. When I see an old lady smoking, I'm like, you go, girl. I'll fucking come up and high five her.
Her lungs look like deflated balloons, but
hey,
whatever.
You know what?
They're
alive.
working. Yeah.
Alive. I know plenty of very healthy dead people, so they've never touched a cigarette in their fucking
Christopher
life.
Reeve's wife died of that shit.
There you go.
She never smoked a day in her life.
No, I'm not even talking of cancer, just of anything. People just drop dead all the time anyway for everything. So I don't know.
Or just explodes.
That happens all the time.
We know a comic who has cancer, lung cancer. She never ever smoked.
No, that's sad. She's in good shape. Never smoked. Yeah,
constantly posting pictures on top of mountains and shit.
She's
hiking.
a fucking badass. Yeah, it's like, how did that? Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy. That's terrible. Get better, by the way.
Yeah.
Thoughts out to you. Yeah. Anyway, he's considered that. His grandmother at this point, Vivian, is running, who was Laurie's wife, who is running one of the largest properties in the Yarra Valley where she produces wine and cattle.
Oh, Jesus.
So this is the type of wealth we're talking about. If you're producing wine and cattle, those are two things that need a lot of space.
Yeah.
You have to have a lot of land to do wine or cattle.
Yeah.
If you're doing both, you have a fuckload of land.
And time. Like, it takes so long to make wine.
Well, yeah, because it has to goes through. You have to go through years of getting that right.
It takes much longer to make cattle.
And
you know what I mean?
Too, yeah.
Talking about 10 years, probably.
It's nuts. I know less about cattle than I do about Australian rules football.
I don't know how long it takes a cow to mature enough to slaughter.
I know they're delicious.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'm not positive of anything about them.
I mean, you got to grow it into
pretty sure
a
they're
cow.
mammals.
Right.
You do have to grow them. I'm pretty sure they don't come out that size.
Right.
I hope not anyway. That would be disgusting.
Grow it into a big just side of beef.
Yeah.
And then if you age the ribeye too, that takes more time.
Yeah. But you're not aging it in the cow.
No. That's
but
what I mean.
Once you're killing
you got to get it big, then you got to kill it, chop it up, and then age it.
And then age it.
That's crazy.
That's
you're just
a lot.
Adding more time.
Yeah, it's a lot of time and wine. You're just watching it grow.
These are very Steve Martin. You like it old.
These are very calm people.
Yeah.
I like it old. These are very calm people. They sit around sipping glasses of wine, going, "The grapes are coming in well this year."
Those are going to be delicious in 7 years.
Oh, the cows are pretty. Yeah, they're not in a big hurry.
Right.
They're fine. They have money. They're good. Everything's fine. Now, a radio host from the area said, quote, "This is the Kerr family," because it's Laurie Kerr, and they call that, even though he's Stephen Bailey, his mother's from the Kerr
clan.
So technically he's a Kerr.
Yeah.
The Kerr family has been prominent in Melbourne for many years. I do know some members of the family personally. They are very close and very, very respected.
Okay.
So there are a bunch of rich fucks who hang around here. Now, Stephen starts to have some problems in the early 2010s here, especially 2013. He is required emergency treatment for a psychotic episode. Not a lot of details, but he apparently freaked out and lost touch with reality to the point where didn't really know who he was, where he was, and to the point where they had to call someone to come get him.
Oh boy.
To figure out what the fuck was wrong with him, which that's a bad sign right there. I mean, people, that happens, but to have a psychotic episode of that nature where they have to hospitalize you, I've never done that.
No.
I mean, not saying that doesn't happen, but how many times have you been?
I've had some psychotic episodes, but not far enough to warrant a hospital stay.
An emergency fucking forced.
With a team of adults and doctors going, we got to make a plan.
We really got to check this and figure this guy out. So after his psychotic episode here, he just deteriorates mentally.
Yeah.
We don't know what causes this or what the story is, or it just seems like at 30 years old he lost his fucking mind.
Well,
I mean, it happens. People people happen. One person said, quote, after that, his psychotic episode, his condition continued to decline in circumstances in which he did not seek or obtain any expert psychiatric assistance or treatment. So he is he's going untreated. That's the other thing. He's the only times he's being seen by anybody is when he's being forcibly admitted somewhere for an episode. He's not seeking regular care.
Zero self-care.
Not medicating. He's just not doing anything here. Now it's also, as time goes by here, 2013, 2014, it gets really, really bad. People are start to say he acts disturbed all the time and shit like that.
Is he drinking?
No, that's the other thing too. There's no substance. No one ever mentions a substance. No one ever mentions that he has any problems with that. It's not like, oh, he started drinking and then it went off the deep end, or he started doing drugs, or I mean, I don't even know what drugs he'd be doing for this shit. If he's doing acid every day or something, because he starts going into, like, he doesn't know reality from not reality.
Weird.
It's really weird. His sister says, quote, probably 12 months later, this is after the incident, psychotic incident, he actually thought I was someone else. He thought I was from ISIS and he was seeing earphones in my ears.
What?
I tried to reassure him who I was, but he didn't really seem to believe me.
He's saying his sister is ISIS?
He's saying that his sister isn't really his sister, but some sort of ISIS clone put there to, I don't know.
Does ISIS hate Australia too?
Apparently they hate Australian personal trainers. I don't know what an international terror organization would give two fucks about a retired footballer who coaches a little tennis on the side, who's teaching kids about their forehand on the side. Like, I don't understand what they would have, but he seems to think that his sister is an ISIS, and this ISIS clone has earphones in his ears, I assume receiving instructions of what to say to him. So tell him about this happened when you were a kid. Now they have a sister tied up there. Tell a story about what he did. Tell us childhood memory. She's like, no, what do you
tell us again how much he loves cardio. Fuck that man.
Tell her. Jesus. But his sister also said he'd been refusing any kind of psychiatric treatment. Unless forced by the state, he's not fucking getting any help.
That's not good.
No, the sister said, quote, he didn't trust his psychiatrist and saw the medication as being tampered with or poisoned.
Okay.
So he is just in complete paranoia.
This is not good.
No, he's in a complete state of power. He thinks his sister's with ISIS.
Right.
Not even his sister. He doesn't think his sister, just to make it clear, he doesn't think his sister joined ISIS and then came back to do something to him.
He thinks it's not her.
He thinks ISIS fucking replaced his sister with a clone to somehow lure him into something.
Right.
So this is next level fucking crazy here. It's sad. And he saw his medications being tampered with or poisoned. So, I mean, he's to the point where this doctor's just a guy he's probably with ISIS too. They're poisoning my medication because I know about the clone program.
Right.
That's what he's probably thinking in his head.
This is amazing.
And it probably just spins and spins and spins and keeps going deeper and deeper.
This is what I want Jose Canseco to be.
Oh, I would would love it.
You know he's not.
He's calculated with all of his crazy. That's what's annoying about him.
Right.
This guy is just, he doesn't know fucking heads from tails. Yeah, he doesn't know anything.
This isn't because he's got a brand. You know,
he's not trying to build a weird brand.
He's not trying to sell
Jose Canseco Sasquatch tours. Like Jose. By the way, update on Jose Canseco. He's selling Sasquatch tours. You pay him $5,000
in Vegas, where all the Sasquatch
where all the sightings have been, right. And then you get to wander through the, I guess, nuclear radiated fucking mountains around Las Vegas,
looking for Sasquatch and alien buddies.
Nuclear test sites,
right.
Which would probably is Sasquatch. It's just guys who were there and were too close to the blast, and now they're
just super hairy.
They've grown hair in places. That happens, by the way.
I'm sure it does.
I saw this documentary on the Bikini Islands, which we fucking basically just decimated and destroyed, and while we were testing nuclear weaponry there, and there was this guy there who was a military guy. He was in the Navy or something, and he was exposed to a bunch of radiation. His fucking hand looked like a cartoon cat hand. You know when like Heathcliff would like get run over by a car and his paw would be all flattened big and flat and big? That's what his fucking hand looked like. It was twice the size of his other hand, and it was covered in fur. That's it.
That's amazing.
It was because from radiation. Yeah. So I was like, holy shit, he's got a fucking cartoon scat cat hand.
Cartoon
what the
flattened
fuck is happening? What is happening?
He can't just blow into his thumb and make it normal.
Apparently not. No, I've said you blow on it and didn't work. Didn't work.
That's too bad.
Apparently it works if you're hit with a sledgehammer or a giant mallet, but not.
They call that place Bikini Island. What a terrible
Bikini Atoll.
What a nice name for something we ruined.
I think that's where the word bikini came from.
Really?
Because that's probably what they. Yeah, it's an island. So, I mean, that's if you a two-piece bathing suit, they probably started calling it a bikini after the place. I'm not sure about that, but I would imagine that came before the island name.
Right.
I mean, the island name came first before the bathing suit name. So, his sister also said, there would be ups and downs with his mental state. Like some days he was okay, and they'd be like, well, Steven seems okay today. She said he appeared to improve at one point, but then there'd be a flare up.
Yeah.
And she said, I couldn't tell if he was improving or not.
Right.
It's like, no, he could keep it under control for a little while, and then
that's what it is.
He's mentally ill. He needs help. That's period. You can't just control that shit.
People are crazy.
Why it's illness.
We're nuts. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You either manage it and take steps to keep it under control, or
you don't.
That's your choices.
Those are your options.
And when you don't, shit goes awry.
No, that's
things will be okay for a couple of days because when you're crazy, you aren't just
nobody's crazy all the time.
You don't just sit in the corner.
Yeah, nobody's like from an old movie, like a guy dressed up like Napoleon walking around the mental institution, banging on a pot, talking. That's not how real.
He has those moments. Right.
But then for a while, he's just sitting eating some Cheez-Its, watching fucking TV,
and he's drooling.
He's fine.
That's
it. There's different things.
Haven't you seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? They're fine most of the time.
That's the thing.
But then they have outbursts, so they just go, "Fuck your mother."
It's that 10. It's that 10%, Jimmy. That's the problem. That's separates everybody's 90% normal.
Yeah.
It's that 10% of whatever that separates everyone. So
separates the loonies from the normal.
That's what it is. Right. So she said he'd appear to improve, but then he'd have a flare up. She couldn't tell what was going on because it was day to day. So you see him one day, he's fine. See him the next day, he's crazy. You're like, I don't know if he's improving. Clearly not.
He's not.
No,
that's the thing.
Like you said, you can either fix it or not, and it's an illness. You can't just control it all the time. It would be like if you have a cold, you can't just not sneeze. Right. It's like your body is doing that.
Your body's sick. You got to manage it.
Things happen. So he also, as he got farther away from the football, he's kind of let the fitness go a little bit. He wasn't so insane into the fitness anymore, and he turned most of his attention away from fitness and toward religion and philosophy.
No more supple.
He's not supple at all anymore. Which for the Australian Bureau of Pedophilia is very disappointed in him. They're very disappointed. We made a wrong choice there. So, Jesus Christ.
I voted nay. I don't know about y'all.
That's not a butthole.
That's not a butthole.
Sorry.
That's a butthole.
That's a butthole. So you don't want a guy with psychotic tendencies to turn his attention toward religion and philosophy. Yeah. It's the last fucking thing you want from these people. Yeah. You have to be so stable to even look at religion and not take it seriously. You have to be crazy. You have
an amazing point.
You do. You have to be the most stable. Religion, I've always said this. Religion should be taken very carefully. Religion should be treated like guns or pornography. Right. You shouldn't be able to have it till you're 18. Because you can't, your mind can't control it before that, and you might get weird shit in your head. It's the same thing. You should do a background check to make sure that are you capable of dealing with this information, for whatever it's worth, whether you think it's true or not. Are you capable of hearing a story? Is that without losing your fucking mind about it?
Solves the kid fucking part.
That solves that. There you go. Well, that was the other plus about the 18 is number one. I don't think you should give people religion until their brains are fully formed, because that's an idea. That it's like a thought process that you implant in someone, and they have like this fear of something in their head from that's weird and cruel.
It's like forcing a 7-year-old to do acid, and now he's afraid there's a giant rat chasing him all the time.
That's what I mean. I don't think it's, and people will say, oh, it's good moral. You can teach your kid morals without the story. You can teach him the same exact morals without the story behind it, and none of that shit. And you can just teach them why, because we're people, and people should be fucking nice to each other. That's why.
Or as Jim Jeffries says, we're not animals. We live in a society.
There you go.
That's it.
It's the George Costanza. We're living in a society. It's it's that sort of thing. So I don't fucking know. But he has some problems with this. He's not stable enough for religion. She said that his sister said he would often talk about ancient philosophers and communism, and would be reading the Bible all the time while he was doing this, which is just a weird trio. Philosophy, communism, and the Bible don't go together.
Which end are you, sir?
They're literally three complete, like if there's a triangle, there are 3 points of it. There's no fucking...
He is a Marxist Hitler.
They never intersect. Well, philosophy, I guess philosophy and communism sort of go together a little bit. Just communism is a philosophy, I suppose. But the Bible doesn't mix in with philosophy at all, or communism. It's very, or it kind of does too, because you're supposed to be nice to people, which is kind of communism. You're supposed to share. Maybe they do intersect. Never mind.
I don't know. So it's like a Venn diagram somehow.
It's in there. There's an intersection. Either way, the sister said, quote, a couple of times he told me he thought he was Jesus.
Oh, there's the problem.
So now that's the issue. This is what I mean. If he didn't know anything about religion, he would have picked somebody else. He would have picked a fucking, someone who existed. I don't know. Definitely. Like someone who we have a picture of.
It wouldn't have been a deity, probably.
That's what I mean. He would have picked there's a guy who I can see in a picture of that, like a photograph was taken of, not,
He thinks he's Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Yeah, so I think he's Woodrow Wilson for some reason. Which would be a really weird.
This bloke, I don't know where.
Really strange person to think he was for an Australian guy. Very strange. So his other sister...
It's better than Paul Hogan.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you know what? You're right. His other sister said as 2015 pushed on, she saw him at one point in 2015 and described her brother Stephen as being in a, quote, feral mood. Feral, like he's acting like an animal.
Yeah,
that's not a mood really, but I don't know if he's going around like rooting in paper and like fucking gnawing on things, but he was acting feral.
In Australia, rooting is fucking, so.
That's true. You're right. Good point.
So maybe he was. Maybe he was fucking in the trash.
Just like fucking the couch. Like it's very feral of him. Only a raccoon that would fuck the couch, I figured, usually. So, wow. She said, though, at this point now, he's having financial problems also, because he doesn't have any money. He's in debt and that sort of thing. So he's living with his mother. He's living with his mother in a condo and all that sort of shit.
I wonder he's fucking crazy.
He's fucking crazy. He's in his 30s, living with his mom in a condo, and it's just not going.
Jenner's calling him.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's not going well for him. They said that, the sisters all said that, he was psychotic, but it was in like a way that they weren't real worried about, like violently, or they weren't afraid afraid to be around him. Like they didn't think he was going to stab him in the face or anything at any point in time. They said their only stress about him was financial. Yeah. That was their only stress. One sister said, quote, I knew he had been in debt, and Mom had told me in particular in 2014 that she was concerned about all the money he needed. She was paying for his car loans, tax bills. I guess he owed a lot of tax money and various other things. So basically she's supporting her grown son in every way, including back tax debts and shit like that.
Yeah, when you have to pay your own taxes, that's when you should not be living off your parents.
That's a thing. Yeah, 4 tax debts. Right. So the family's just concerned about that because they're like, we don't want him sponging off of Mom here and taking all the money. Now, 2014, he goes to work for his uncle, his mother's brother. He's one of the Kerrs, Gregory Kerr, which is one of his names.
Right.
I'm sure it's what he's named after, probably. One of his names.
Growing grapes or slaughtering cattle?
Okay, here we go. He said that this Gregory Kerr said that Stephen came to work with him at his vineyard.
All right.
This guy has a vineyard. It's a vineyard family. Yeah. In 2014, after Stephen's sister contacted the uncle with concerns. Yeah. Basically, they're like, dude, this guy is fucking...
We got to get him out of Mom's house.
He's batshit, number one. He needs to do something, basically. Maybe it will help him to just be out and doing. I don't know.
We should make him stare at.
I think the sun cures mental illness. What am I supposed to do?
Make him stare at grapes?
All right.
Yeah,
that's it. The sun bakes away the mental illness too.
Can't so much as make him watch grapes grow. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, you can. Will you pay him? Will you pay him for that? If you pay him enough to pay his taxes for that, then we're great. He can sit there all fucking day and philosophize and think he's Jesus and
make him sit there and watch them and guess if they're red or green. Do that.
Yeah. Just do it.
From seedling to plant.
I bet you can do it.
Which
all day.
One's coming out?
Which
one's coming out? Bet. Let's bet.
It's all bet. That's his job. So, at that point, he was 34 years old. And his uncle said, quote, he was low all the time on occasions. So he's kind of just like this low depressive. And I don't know if he was taking medication that's to suppress.
Okay.
Sometimes when people are overly medicated, they're just kind of that flat.
Just numb.
Yeah, that sort of thing. His uncle said he had his good and his bad days at work. Yeah. So, I mean, like anybody else, but his were a little worse and a little whatever.
They fluctuate harder.
Yeah, it's weird. His uncle said that Stephen appeared like when he was in his 20s, he was energetic, he was fit, he was confident, he was, Mr. had his shit together.
Oh, yeah.
He said during his 30s, though, he said since he entered his 30s, he's been withdrawn, has difficulty focusing, doesn't care about himself the same way. The signs of mental illness, of just slipping. He said that he said that his brother, that Stephen would talk about religion, philosophy, and quote, the need for a new world order.
Oh no.
So he's getting into shit like that.
Oh Jesus.
So his uncle said he didn't really take it all that seriously though. He said, quote, I took him to be a young man in search of who he is in life. Yeah. Basically, like this is all the shit he should have been worried about in college.
Right.
Like normally it's 19-year-old kids are talking, we need a new world order. And then by the time they're 25, they're like, I need to pay my student loans.
Fuck I'm going to get a job. Thing.
Fuck the new world order. My shit's like $400 a month I got to pay. And I just got a new Camry. It's like they're not so concerned with the New World Order anymore.
And that chick I was banging is now knocked up. So what am I going to do?
Yeah, the New World Order isn't going to help me in this situation. Exactly. So, and his uncle that's like we said, a young man, and he just said maybe he's doing it late. Is all. I mean, he was playing football and doing things back when he should have been reading.
Right.
So it's a
but
also
different
thing.
The uncle probably hasn't heard of YouTube and seen Zeitgeist and all that
that's
weird
the other
shit going on.
Who knows?
And that's probably what this kid's digging.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. This is 2014, 2015. So, I mean, who knows what the fuck he's watching.
Shit.
Yeah, you could, if you're crazy and prone to conspiracy theory anything like that, you could go down the craziest holes ever.
Oh boy, is there a community for you.
There's a community, there's videos from here to the end of the world. There's a bunch of people that it's crazy. There's an echo chamber for you.
Absolutely.
If you're crazy, there's an echo chamber for you. The internet.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. So October 2015 comes around.
Yeah.
He's not working at the vineyard anymore. He's living with his mom. He's more crazy than not crazy at this point. It's hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
The whole situation. One day, all of a sudden, Stephen and his mom, Penny, are both missing. Mm-hmm. They're both missing. No one can find them.
Penelope,
Penny is what everybody calls her. Penny's missing. He's missing. Gone. So
okay.
Problems here. This was she was last seen at 9 p.m. on a Sunday, and then she was gone. Yeah. Her one of Stephen's sisters visited the home and ended up they ended up talking to Stephen, but not then nobody could find him for a while.
Okay.
So his uncle called him and said that he didn't know where Stephen said he didn't know where his mother was. He didn't know why you were calling me, leave me alone.
Yeah.
He was kind of out of it.
Okay.
His sister came over and said about Stephen, quote, he was a bit gaunt. He was out of it. His mind was elsewhere. He wasn't looking me in the eye. So he's in some sort of weird state. Mom's missing.
Yeah.
And what the fuck is he doing here? I guess after a couple minutes of her saying, like, where's mom? What's going on? And him acting weird, he told his sister to leave. He said, I'm not feeling well. You got to leave.
Yeah.
Go away. I'm not feeling well. So he just like kind of pushed her out the door. Very dismissive. Said, I'm not feeling well and you have to go. And just was like, kind of like, right now.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Grabbing her car keys, rushing out the door. And apparently, he pushed her out the door, but then he left too and rode away from the house on his bicycle. So that was a weird move.
Yeah.
That was very strange, where she was like, I thought you weren't feeling well, but he ran away. Now, she said that this reminded her of the time in 2013 when he had the psychotic episode he had to be hospitalized for, where he hallucinated that someone was after him. That was the psychotic episode. He thought someone was after him, and he was like, they're getting me, and like nobody's there. You're just sitting there. But he was literally seeing figures. That's scary as shit.
Yeah.
Oh God. Gee, can you imagine your mind turning on you like that, like to that extent?
Minus drugs, that's fucking horrific.
Insane. Yeah. I want to do that on purpose, but not, I don't want that shit happen involuntarily to
I
me.
want to giggle my balls off about it. I don't want to.
That's the thing.
I want to be just
terrified.
Yeah.
To the point of a fucking mental institution. Now, apparently, she's missing, and then he's last seen riding off on his bike, and no one can find either one of them. So a day goes by, and almost 2 days, by Tuesday morning, people really want to know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
So the family is going on TV at this point saying, Stephen, fucking dude, get back with us. Tell us what's going on. We're worried about mom. We're worried about you. Talk to the police. And if you know anything about what happened to mom, tell them so they can find her and that sort of shit. Like
they're doing this. They're communicating with him through TV
because they can't get a hold of him. So one of them said, quote, Steve, if there's anything you can do to get in touch, please do. I love you. We love you. That was her family sitting there. So they don't know what's going on. So homicide detectives start to investigate, even though they don't know anything about it. They're going to get a head start if this lady's missing that's looking fishy. They ended up telling reporters that they were, quote, keeping an open mind about Stephen's involvement in the disappearance of whether he was involved in it or not. He says, quote, this is Inspector Mick Hughes, which sounds very Australian.
Yeah, he does.
He carries
his name is Mick?
Mick, yeah.
Oh,
he carries no gun, just a giant knife.
Huge knife.
A huge knife and a boomerang.
The knife is shaped like a boomerang.
Yeah. Big knife, boomerang. Which one, mate? That's what he says.
He throws the knife and it does a boomerang and it comes back to his hand because he's an inspector.
I'm an inspector, mate. He says, the urgent message here is that we've got a family here that are extremely distressed. No shit. I would say so here. This is a very large and close family and we're putting all support around them as we can. So, they're saying, please. So they're especially scared because the night before, this is Wednesday morning, on Tuesday night, relatives, the daughters and a couple other people broke into the condo to try to get in there to see what was going on.
Yeah.
If they could find her. They broke in and they said it looked like some sort of disturbance had happened there.
Oh, boy.
Things weren't in their right places. There was things knocked around and it just didn't look right. It looked like possible struggle scene or something like that. So they immediately at that point called the cops, and then the cops got involved and they went on TV to find Stephen. All this shit broke really, really fast.
And now Mick's there.
Mick's got it. Don't worry about Mick. He's fine. He's got it covered. So finally, they find They find Penelope. They find Penny.
She's fine.
Unfortunately, she's dead.
Oh, God damn it.
Unfortunately, she's found near a creek. So that's a bad thing. 59 years old. Her body is found near the Mullum Creek at Donvale. They first found her and they couldn't identify her. She'd been out there for a few days. So they couldn't make a positive identification on her. But based on the fact that she was the only missing woman in the area, and fit the height and weight, and she fit the general description. It's her, but they're going to make positive IDs. They find her at about 7:10 p.m. They said, quote, the body has not been formally identified, but it's believed to be that of Penny Bailey, found just meters from a parking lot, too. So it wasn't even basically just parked, dragged her out a few feet and dumped her off behind some bushes and got back in the car and took off. This wasn't a real elaborate thing here. Just dumped her. They established that crime scene there. They get forensic specialists to come in and check everything out and go over everything. They set up all these floodlights, and so there's just teams of forensic, because this is like a rich local family. They're going to find out what's going on. There's teams of people under floodlights, just all in the bushland, just all picking through anything they can find, all the brush and shit. Apparently, the dumping ground, they said, could be seen clearly from a walking track across a little creek. A woman who walked past it on her way home was the person who found it. She just walked by and said it was a local woman named Amy Stevens who called the discovery terrifying, as you might imagine, which a woman who's been dead for a couple days outside. Terrifying. She also said, quote, I am so shocked because this is such a good area. It is so close to home and such a nice area that you just don't expect it to happen. So it's very like, because it's a nice upscale. They don't live in the ghetto, these people.
It used to be nice.
Absolutely. They said they use a lot of kids use the area to play sports and shit like that. So they were happy a kid didn't find the
no doubt.
They said, this one person said, quote, there are often scouts teams near here and sausage sizzles. What's a sausage sizzle?
Is that one of those like meat carts?
I don't know if it's a meat cart or if people make sausage there, or I have no fucking idea.
There's a sausage sizzle around the corner.
Sausage sizzle. Is that like a hot dog stand?
I'm guessing,
maybe
like a
that's
meat cart.
I like that. That sounds good.
Or there's a shawarma man down the road.
If you put a sausage cart a sausage sizzle outside of my house every day, I will buy that shit. You can just stop by every day and I'll pick some up. I swear to Christ. If it was a hot dog cart outside of my house, all I would eat is hot dogs. All I would eat. I would just go there all the time.
That's a good point. I made them this weekend with my kids, and I fell back in love with hot dogs.
Oh, they're the fucking best. They're so
amazing.
They're incredible.
That tube steak is delicious.
And whether it's just mustard or we put sauerkraut, mustard, or chili and cheese, that's
what we did.
Incredible. It doesn't matter.
Chili dogs are the shit.
Good. So now non-delicious things here. So this woman said, quote, this is a 1 in a million. Nothing like this happens around here. Stephen was last seen from this point riding his bike away from the house by his sister. Police list him as missing, and they're looking for him now even more intently now that they find the mother's body here. And finally, he's spotted on a security camera.
Okay.
Of all things, he's captured at 6:55 p.m. on closed circuit TV at Flinders Street Railway Station. This is before his sisters went on TV to plead for him. He was there. Now he's also been spotted near Lonsdale and Bourke Streets between 6:30 and 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, which is the next day, wearing a black and white striped shirt, the same one he was wearing the day before on the closed circuit TV. So doesn't have clothes with him, obviously.
Not changing.
He doesn't have like a bag. He rode away on his bike, and here he is. One place he did go, he was apparently a regular customer at a coffee shop there. It was managed by a woman named Lisa Himberg, who talks about him. He stopped here that Wednesday at the coffee shop, and this Lisa Himberg said that he was usually very methodical. He always sat at the same table. He orders the same drinks. He reads a book while he eats. It's and then he pays with cash every time. Same routine is always what he does. She said this day, though, he was, quote, out of sorts. She said he sat at a different table than he normally does, not one that he normally sits at. I guess he has a couple. If someone's sitting at one, he'll sit at this one. But there's like 3 tables where he's only sitting at those tables. That's it. Apparently here he sat at some different table. He just picked at the food he ordered. He usually eats everything very methodically, reads his book. He's got a routine. She said he was just out of sorts. He stared into space while he was eating. Weird.
Not like looking outside at the sky.
No,
he's like just staring at the wall.
Just kind of staring and not eating his food and sitting at a table he's not normally at. So they're like, what the fuck's wrong with him? Like, a little bit creepy here. She said, quote, his mind was somewhere else. He looked tired and disheveled. So, because he was out all night wearing the same clothes from yesterday. And she's a good judge of character, this Lisa Himberg. She didn't feel comfortable talking with him that day because he was acting so funny. She was like, I'm not going to start any conversations with him. It seems like something's going on with him.
That far?
Yeah, like he looks a little off. Like maybe you don't know too. You don't think, he must be having a psychotic episode. But I mean, who knows? Maybe his girlfriend just broke up with him. Maybe he's just lost his job. You never know. People are weird sometimes. When they're being weird, if you're not best friends with them, what the fuck do you need to know about it for?
Let's not be weird with them.
Exactly. She said at that point, after he ate, she heard about the police reports that they were looking for him, so she contacted the police right away. She said something wasn't quite right, and then she saw the reports and was like, okay, well, I should probably call the cops. So police come after he leaves the restaurant, and they finally find him in the streets. In Kensington. This is amazing. This is one of the better arrests of all time here. Crime and sports history. He is found in the median of the street. Between the roads, which is a dangerous place to go, wearing only his underpants.
Yes.
Just his underpants.
Fuck yes.
Only, all underpants and only underpants. By the way, underpants stuffed with cash.
What?
You
should have kept your pants on,
his
bro.
His underwear are stuffed with cash.
Okay.
He's using his underwear like some sort of giant pocket where he took his pants off and then went, shit, I want to not have pants on, but I also want to have money that goes in these pockets. I'll just wear it inside my underwear. So.
Wow.
Walking down the street with an underwear full of fucking money, which is just the strangest thing ever.
Australian Nambla dream, by the way.
Oh, man. The Bureau of Pedophilia they're like, that's why. Now we know why we gave him the Supple Award.
A boy in drawers with stuff with cash, my kind of guy.
Yeah, that's my kind of guy right there. So he's stuffed with cash. Now he has, while he's being arrested, shit goes really, really fucking weird and awkward. He is muttering incoherently about, he said that that there was helicopters monitoring his movements and that people were after him and fucking ISIS and earbuds and all sorts of shit. He's given him his whole rundown of his greatest hits, of his greatest crazy hits. He's dancing, he's bebopping and scatting all over the place. He, at that point, okay.
I see him pitching like a really bad CD.
See him pitching like a direct marketing scheme at this point.
And all this can be yours from 1995.
So he, at this point, starts telling them he has delusions that he is the Greek philosopher Aristotle.
Yes.
And also, not only is he the Greek philosopher Aristotle, intermittently, he goes from being that to he is the son of the gods Zeus and Athena, who is not Aristotle.
No.
But sometimes he's Aristotle, and sometimes he's the son of Goose. He's the son of Goose and Meg Ryan in Top Gun. He's the son of Zeus and Athena.
Right. And if I'm not, then why do I have all this shit-stained money?
Exactly. Now, nothing has ever made more sense than that. If I wasn't who I say I was, meaning son of the two main gods, why would there be shits? Why would there be fecal matter upon my currency? Now, can you explain that to me?
Explain the fecal matter spatter all over me money.
Thank you. I'll continue walking down the median now. Appreciate it.
I'll be on me way.
Thanks, gentlemen. Have a good one. Puts his hand up. No, we're done here. We're done here. Thank you.
Riddle me that.
Here's 10. Here's a tip. Here's a tenner for you, mate. No, oh, Jesus Christ.
Holy shit, that's great.
So there was a paramedic there on the scene because they're like, ooh, obviously he's fucking wacky.
Yeah.
We're gonna need to involuntarily commit him for the moment. We're not taking him to fucking jail like this. He's going to a hospital first. So they get paramedics in here. So he was complaining about having poison in his veins to the paramedic. He's screaming, I have poison in my veins, and I'm the son of Zeus and Athena, and oh, by the way, my name's Aristotle. Nice to meet you. So, she said, quote, he was mumbling about being Aristotle, someone being in the Marabarong River. She said he was scattered in thought, he was disheveled. Yeah. Well, yeah, he was walking in the median in his underwear stuff with shit-stained bills. I'd say disheveled is probably a good way to put it.
It's a damn near naked man. That's a disheveled as fuck.
I would say so.
That's over.
And the median?
Yeah.
No, maybe on the sidewalk, I'll let it slide. Yeah. But in the fucking median, that's when it gets crazy. You can walk on the sidewalk, do whatever you want. But in the median, even in New York, they'd be like, what this fucking nut out of the median?
What's this jerk off doing?
What's he doing in the median, you asshole? So apparently he was also, as they were trying to take him in, he was trying to bash his head on the asphalt.
Yep.
He was like swinging his head down, trying to smash it on the asphalt. Finally, this paramedic, Michelle Brown, he wouldn't talk to her unless she agreed to call him Aristotle.
Okay.
So he said, I fucking told you that my name is Aristotle. And she said, okay, fine, Aristotle. How you feeling? She ended up calling him Aristotle because otherwise she couldn't communicate with him. So he just crossed his arms and went, nope, I don't hear my name. I hear someone talking, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a fly in the room. I'm not sure. She goes, fine. Aristotle. He's like, oh, what now? Pardon me? Can I help you with something? He gets all fucking lucid.
Let's have a look-see at the blood pressure cuff, would you?
Oh, yeah, let's do that. So they take him into custody. By the way, he bites a big chunk of his tongue off in this melee as well.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Not sure if it's on purpose or just in the course of trying to slam his head on the concrete or take the money out of his ass. I'm not sure what happened.
It was on purpose.
But he bit a good chunk of his tongue off in the melee as well.
That's a new kind of crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah. I would say pants stuffed with underwear, underwear stuffed with money, walking down the freeway.
No pants, James.
And only your underwear.
Yeah.
No pants at all, telling people that you're the son of Zeus and Athena and also Aristotle and possibly Jesus, and your sister is actually an ISIS clone.
Right.
Fucking, there's problems here. Shit's going down. So they're going to take him in for a little look-see in the psychiatric hospital.
Yeah.
He told his lawyer said that he's not required to go to court the next day because he's so fucking out of it.
Good.
They're going to try to medicate him and get him down a little bit. Wow. His lawyer said that he was extremely concerned for Stephen, who was in a, quote, extremely florid state. Extremely florid. I don't think I've ever heard of someone's state described as florid.
Is that floored? Like
No. It's like a colorful, like.
That's what he wants to call that?
If someone's cursing a lot, someone would nicely say they're using florid language.
No.
So.
That's not what that is.
I think it's like a
My client needs some fucking professional help.
My client is crazy as shit.
My client is crazy as shit covered on money. That's what he is.
That's how crazy my fucking client is.
There's no reason to have shit on money.
No.
Ever. Even
have you
if
heard
have
the term
too much.
shithouse rat, comma, crazy as? Hey, that's what he is.
That's my guy.
That's my guy. So, he said that his lawyer said that the court needed the client to be returned to the psychiatric hospital, and, he needs to be, they're going to sedate him, and they sedated him so much that they couldn't get him ready for court the next day because he was just... They had to point to make him stop telling everyone he was Aristotle was a point to where he's not okay to appear in public, apparently. So, wow. The Norwood Football Club president, they're silver-haired middle-aged white man. Let's get them in the mix.
What
Australian silver-haired middle-aged white man. Paul DiLulio, he said he was surprised when he heard that Stephen been arrested. He was shocked. He said, quote, I was shocked.
You're right. He was.
He was shocked. Quote, I was shocked. I'm shocked that anything like that that, it's not good news to hear. No shit. I would really you'd say, I kind of always thought he'd kill his mom. I always thought he would. I don't know. It's just this. How does he have a feeling about people?
He tell you it was Aristotle. Did he pull that shit?
Did he say that shit too? He's saying he's Jesus. I told him I wasn't an ISIS. I don't know what he's talking about.
What would it take for this man not to be shocked?
So he asked if he was quiet. They asked him, was he a quiet guy, Stephen? And this silver-haired middle-aged white man said, quote, "That's my understanding. People I have spoken to say he kept to himself," which they did say he was quiet. They said that he had been he said, quote, when he was there at Norwood, this DeLulio said, quote, "He seemed like a reasonable bloke. He played in the midfield and on the halfback." Okay. So he's a reasonable bloke. Yeah. How he's acting now is the opposite of reasonable, I would say. Whatever reasonable is, this is definitely the opposite of that. They found him to be floridly psychotic at the hospital. Which they use as a medical term over there. Now, I could be completely wrong about why they're using it that way, and I could be.
Probably not.
I'm an idiot, so I'm not smart. So if I am wrong, don't tweet me, because I'll look it up as soon as I'm done and make sure. And if I'm an idiot, I'm an idiot. And it might be cut out by now, and you won't even know what I'm talking about now. So we'll see. So I won't cut it out. No. So anyway, she was discovered. His mother was Penny was discovered, and they used his phone to track him down, kind of where he was eventually. And then they got a phone call, and they used that. Okay. So the problem is, the judge in this case suppresses the details of the injuries on the murder.
Why?
So we don't know what happened. We don't know how she was murdered. We don't know what her injuries were. We don't know anything. They suppressed it completely.
Think it was that bad, or is Australia just that decent to victims?
They're rich people. And I think they're a powerful family, and they didn't want that out. And they probably fucking have drinks with this judge. Who the fuck know? I don't know. I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying it's suppressed. Yeah, they were saying that that's not a real common thing that happens. So
you're right, because I know all about what happened to that dude that the wife filleted.
That's what I mean. It's not very well to. They don't just do it because it's graphic. Yeah. This has to be like the family has to basically kind of force the issue. I think out of this. Now, while they went to the house after that to search the house to try to do a crime scene on that, because they said signs of a struggle with the family, so that's something that should be investigated. They seize a black Volkswagen Tiguan? How do you say? Tiguan? It's a stupid word.
They have that in America, too.
What the fuck is that?
Australians generally have like different fucking makes and models and stuff. Yeah. But for a Volkswagen Tiguan to be there, that's interesting.
They have it. They took that, they loaded it onto a flatbed trailer, took it away for forensic look-see. Yeah. They launched an investigation. They do the whole deal. Now, they said that there was a concern from the sisters, and that's what kind of got the police involved. Obviously, they said they established the crime scene at the home, at Penny and Stephen's home, which they said that's the crime scene. They found blood inside the townhouse in certain areas, but they wouldn't say how much blood, where they find the blood.
But they're certain that's where.
But there's blood in there. There's a sign of a struggle and blood. Okay. So they're saying this shit at least started here, and they're saying they believe that she was killed there, but they won't say how they know that because they won't tip their hand on these fucking injuries. God. And I looked for gossip. I looked for something. I don't fucking know. I want to know. Even if I wasn't going to say it, I want to know. I look at this shit for a week. I'm reading all about this. I can't even know how this lady died.
And this was just recently, so somebody's got to know.
Oh, this is fucking 3 years ago. Yeah. It's still going. This was going on until 8 months ago.
Jesus.
This whole court thing. So yeah, they said they found blood in there. They also seized 2 garbage cans, like with wheels on them.
The wheelie bins?
The wheelie bins, exactly. They said they also took a mobile phone into evidence. They ended up inspecting. They found inside the bin clothing and gloves, which normally people just don't throw out, especially right after they killed their mother. Right. So, they're going to look at that and then analyze that shit.
It's usually the only time you throw those out.
Yeah, that's it. Usually, otherwise you keep them. It's even as a dust rag.
Garage, right.
Yeah, something. The neighbors, they woke up in the morning and the streets filled with police in this nice neighborhood. They said that they didn't hear any disturbance. Like none of the neighbors heard anything coming from the house. There was no like a big screaming fight, or
Interesting.
He didn't go outside claiming he was fucking
Zeus?
Zeus or anybody else for that matter. Christ almighty. He says he's Aristotle, so could be anything at this point. So they said that nothing happened there. They said at the hospital, at the Thomas Embling Psychiatric Hospital, they said that he suffered from schizophrenic illness, which explained his changed behavior years before, which in that time, a lot of times too, late 20s is when that manifests. So that makes a lot of sense. He said, quote, "It's not uncommon that people fly under the radar with their symptoms," which also makes a lot of sense. They said, the court heard that he had schizophrenic symptoms, including delusions and hallucinations, which is
terrible combination.
Scary and fucking horrible. He also believed, this is another one that he was telling the psychiatrist now, he believed that members of his family not only were in ISIS and not only were they out to get him and have him be taken to be poisoned by psychiatrists, but also members of his family were, quote, involved in necrophilia and pedophilia and had been, quote, put there to persecute him.
Holy shit.
He has lost his fucking marbles, basically. He's lost his marbles.
It's not coming back.
It's not coming back. They keep him in a psychiatric unit for a while. He's sitting there. They have doctors, and they do it because he's special crazy to where they have different doctors coming in and out all the time to talk to him, and then there's police people talking to him, and they're trying to figure out if he's sane for court. Is he faking it too? That's the other thing, because they don't know if he's faking it. They're like, he just committed a murder. Maybe we should make sure he's not faking it. So that's the other thing. So they have to have all these different doctors talk to him to get their opinions and see if he, because he might display something that shows he's faking it a little bit with one guy and a little bit with the other, and if you add them up together,
It equals bullshit.
It equals bullshit. Right. So they need a lot of different people here, which is really weird. Finally, they get a particular doctor to come. I'm sure he seems like an interesting guy. If you're a psychiatrist, this is the guy you want to talk to.
Yeah.
I would think.
There's probably a pool for this.
I would assume. Yeah, they're rock, paper, scissors on that shit. Shit. All right, fine. You talk to him. So finally, though, he's sitting there in the cell, and one guy comes, knocks on his door, and Steven answers it, and it's not a doctor at all. It's the Mexican pimp.
Yes.
And he says, "How is it you've come to arrive here? Why are you here?" "No, I am a real person." "No, you are seeing." "Yes, I am here too." "No, I'm not here to kill you." "No, I have not had sex with corpses or children, but I was a lifelong member of the Australian Bureau of Pedophilia." Yes.
And
just to look at the pictures. You know how it is.
And I just want Rochambeau to be in here.
And I win with paper. Paper always cover rock, in case you not know. Anyway, I must ask you why you do this. Why? You have money. You have your mother was like a prostitute working for you, handing you money. I don't see any difference. Only her you don't have to beat. So it seems much easier. Right. She cannot run to police and say, "They hold me against my will, blah, blah, blah." No. So you are stupid. I do not like you. I go now. Poof. And in a poof of tequila, he's gone.
Yeah.
And Steven's sitting there going, "See, I told you. I fucking told you guys."
Yeah.
Shit's crazy, man. So now the family here, in a statement, they said that Penny Bailey would be remembered for her warm heart. They said that they would, the Kerr family would like to publicly express its gratitude for the outpouring of support it's received since Penny's disappearance. Penny was a beautiful woman and mother of 3 children. She will be remembered for her caring nature, warm heart, and love of family. The Kerr family is large. Vivian and Laurie Kerr had 9 children. There are 34 grandchildren and 24 great-grandchildren. So, yeah, that's what they're talking about.
100 people.
It's 100
because those two fucked.
That's a big fucking family reunion. That's a lot of Australia. Imagine the fist fights they have at those reunions. Christ. Punching each other, fucking Foster's cans flying everywhere.
My word.
It's a disaster. It's a Foster's vineyard, mate.
They all box two kangaroos.
Yeah, it's a tournament. It's a tournament. Grandma won last year. Right. So, so that's sort of good family there. They make family statements to the police. The Kerr family statement to the police. Like my family, there'd be like 14. We couldn't
even agree.
14 different people just saying a bunch of different shit.
Stupid. I wouldn't even say that.
He's a fucking liar, all right? No, I talked to him. He's a fucking... Why are you fucking talking to him for? Oh, what are you talking to my cousin for? He doesn't know shit. He wasn't even fucking there. Nah, he never came over to our house. He didn't know a fucking thing. I'll tell you the real fucking story. He's a jerk off. Don't listen to him. That'd be my family. Yeah. Fucking ridiculous. So they also said, quote, "We would like to thank the Victoria Police for their professionalism and caring and sensitive manner in which they conducted their investigations." In other words, not letting information out of their private shit. So Stephen appears before Magistrate Donna Bakos via a video link
of the Bakos fortune.
Of the Bakos fortune. Of the
little bacon chips on your
of
salad.
The soy bacon empire that was built. She actually married Jonathan Hidden from the Hidden Valley Ranch Consortium. And when you combine those families together, you get a tasty salad.
It's a powerful salad family.
Fucking salad. It's pretty good. It's a good salad. With that, we are loopy today. We are fucking both.
We are fucking crazy.
Tired and punchy and fucking having to travel this week, and it's fun.
Discussing a lunatic.
Yeah.
Which makes it much more fun.
Amazing. So, Stephen Bailey is not going to face a jury trial. He is going to face a judge alone. This is some sort of, that has to do with his competency. The prosecutors agree to this, and everybody agrees to this. Okay. So, basically, the judge ended up hearing the case a little bit, and then, this Bakos came on because the last magistrate who started with this case, a Gerard Lethbridge, had to recuse himself from the case, citing links to the family, to his family.
Yeah.
That they can't, and it's funny too because a psychiatrist was also unable to testify to his report due to links to the family.
Wow,
this family's so well known. Anybody in an upper crust position, a judge, a doctor, they all know these
They're
fucking
friends,
people.
yeah.
They all go to the same parties. They know each other. So it's crazy. And Melbourne's a big fucking place.
Yeah,
Melbourne's like a big city, but they have there's society rings, and people run together like in any fucking city. In New York, everybody who's rich knows each other. There's fucking 10 million people there. It doesn't matter.
God, I want to be rich.
Don't you? Wouldn't it be nice?
Just to be at one of those parties.
Oh, wouldn't it be great?
Just to sit in the corner and
Nobody
drink
wants us at a
whiskey and
party.
be like, is that him?
Is that? Yeah,
that's the guy. That's the guy that owns Wendy's now.
Yeah, nobody
knows his name, but I know.
I know him. He's
I'm
rich.
friends with him.
We're
the guy that the predecessor of Dave. It's right there.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows who that guy is.
Nobody knows who. Nobody wants us at a party.
No,
that's what I was going to say. They don't want us there at all. They don't want us there. Right. I'd be fucking making fun of whatever they had and being angry and
making fun of the guy that's not Dave Thomas.
You'd be friends with everybody there. It'd be fucking hilarious.
Dave Thomas's predecessor. What's that guy's name? It's Mr. Wendy now? Who is it?
Johnny
Who even
Wendy.
knows?
Johnny Wendy, Johnny Holiday, or Johnny Hidden it was. Johnny Hidden of the Hidden Valley Ranch. His grandparents were on the other side were the Valleys.
Right.
So that's how that worked.
That's what I want to know. The rich fucks that nobody knows.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're the ones.
Like the guy that invented that shit, that open your fingers and zoom in on a picture. The guy that invented that, I want to know that guy.
Well, that guy probably makes very little money. He's probably like the guy who invented Chicken McNuggets. He just works for the company, and anything he comes up with, like it's like working for Thomas Edison. He just takes your invention and says, "Thomas Edison now, motherfucker. You work for me."
Whoever invented something stupid like wire twist ties, I want to know that guy.
You want some guy who's like an industrial paving magnate who's worth $300 million, but no one knows who he is because all he owns is a fleet of fucking pavers. And no one cares. It's not glamorous, but he's wealthy as shit. That's who I want to be. I want to be that guy. I don't give a shit about people knowing who I am. I don't need that shit.
I want to have $3 million and know that guy. Because that guy's got a great boat, and I'll be the entertainment. I don't give a shit. I'll be the guy that wanders around saying horrible shit to people.
Yeah.
Go over there and tell that guy's wife that she's a cunt, and I'll fucking do it. I'm in. Let's go.
I want to be that guy, the quiet guy nobody knows, sits back. I don't need to be famous. I don't need fucking. I'm married. I don't need women on me.
Right.
It's like the old Wu-Tang quote. Never mind the pussy. Give me the money and the weed.
Right.
Fuck that shit.
Two fucks.
I heard that. I was like, yeah, it's a good quote.
Money, fuck the fame. That's it. Simple man.
So that's right, baby. So, I'm a simple man. So they called in a pathologist to give an expert opinion onto the injuries of her. They were trying to determine whether it was inflicted in a frenzied attack, how much force was applied. Basically, how crazy was he?
Right.
Does this look like a crazy person tore into someone, or does this look like a calculated, attack? Is what they're doing here. They said that. They were trying to figure it out. The judge or the prosecutor said, quote, "We're not in a position to put all our eggs in one basket at this stage." So there is a committal hearing for him here because they're trying to figure out if he's sane enough, which I could tell you now. Probably not. Right. His two sisters gave evidence on his poor mental health, his history of mental health, how his personality changed over the last few years. The defense lawyers tried to get suppression orders to ban any of the publication of the hearing, anything about him. Yeah. They wanted to be suppressed, along with the information that's already suppressed about the mother's injuries. He said, arguing he has a, quote, complex constellation of mental health issues and would become a target while in custody, which could result in him being moved to protective custody. Okay. So that's what they're saying. They argued that this could put him at risk of self-harm. Because he's a fucking mess. And basically they said they're going to suppress, all they ended up suppressing was the nature of the injuries. Okay. Nothing about him. Now, 2016, quick aside, Patrick Kerr, who is one of Vivian and Laurie's grandchildren, is drafted by Carlton. The team that he was playing that Laurie played for. Vivian Kerr, this is in the middle of the murder trial. She's delighted about all this. She said, quote, "I'm over the moon. To hear Patrick's name called was incredible." So they're saying that she's the current number one female ticket holder. Okay. And she was, whatever. He was a 4th round selection, number 55 overall.
That sounds great.
That sounds wonderful. Vivian said that the lead up was excruciating, and she said, quote, "I was at Patrick's home sitting next to him waiting anxiously. I was terribly nervous, and I think it's a cruel process, but he is wrapped with the outcome, and so am I." Mm-hmm. So all's well that ends well, is what she just said there. She then starts going into his football ability. She says, quote, "Patrick is a very good footballer. He mightn't be as flashy as some of the smaller blokes his age, but he's a very big boy. He turns 18 at the end of July, and I reckon he stands at 6'5".
Wow,
that's a big fucking kid. Yeah. They asked her what would Laurie think of him, and she says Laurie would have been over the moon. He would have been critical of Patrick too, but not just him. Laurie was the same with Peter, Mark, and Stephen. Not this Stephen.
Another Stephen.
The other Stephen, the son Stephen. He always told them what he thought they did wrong, but he encouraged them too, like you wouldn't believe. So she says that she told him that she likes players who go in hard for the ball, like Laurie, her husband, used to. And she's giving this kid, she's like coaching this kid. Yeah. He said, quote, "She's always telling me to use my hips because I've got the big body. She actually got up and demonstrated it to me one time a few years ago. She gave me a bit of a push and showed me how to mark. She doesn't think I've got it yet, but I'm working on it." So he's getting fucking criticized by his grandmother. But his football abilities. Yeah, that's what she is. Yeah, absolutely. So back to Stephen here. Psychiatrist Mark Ryan, he tells the court that Bailey, at times while he talked to him, thought he was Jesus, thought he was a genius, and also thought he was a god who had been chosen to be the leader of the New World Order.
Yes.
So, and, once in a while he's Jesus, sometimes he's just a genius, and sometimes he's the chosen New World Order leading god.
Yeah.
He believed that he had to flee from the Islamic State and that his family weren't who they said they were. That's what he believes.
Yeah.
So there's all of that, and he's fleeing from the Islamic State. Quote, "He thought his family was not his family and that they were there to persecute him." And while they're being not only members of ISIS, but a pedophilic, necrophilic cabal.
It's fantastic.
There's a lot going on here. There's a lot happening. This is one of the this is like Ike Iabuchi level crazy.
Yeah.
He might be the craziest guy we've had so far.
Certainly.
He's the craziest. Like,
did Iabuchi kill?
No, but he fucking was this crazy.
Yeah.
He thought there was demons in the air conditioner, and he attacked people, but he just didn't kill anybody.
Okay.
Well, we don't know if he did either. Let's find out.
That's a good point.
So, They talk about how he was seen in 2013 by a crisis assessment and treatment team, but was largely untreated up until the time of his mother's death. His relatives raised concerns that he was faking his symptoms.
Oh no, Stephen.
Now, Dr. Ryan here said that it was, quote, very, very difficult to feign psychosis, and especially difficult to fool a group of experienced mental health experts who saw Mr. Bailey over a long time. Like I said, this isn't one guy.
Right.
They sent fucking everybody, every doctor they had, the Mexican pimp, anybody they could manage to throw at him.
Right.
You talk to him and see what the fuck you think. Dr. Ryan said, quote, I don't think he was making this up. I don't know anyone who has malingered a psychosis like that. I don't know if everybody knows what malingering is. Malingering is faking a psychiatric condition to benefit yourself.
Benefit, right.
Yeah, so
that's the part.
Yeah,
benefit's the major part.
Yeah, to benefit. Yeah, if you're trying to, if crazy would get you out of prison and you act a special kind of crazy, that's malingering. Right. I don't know if everybody knows that term or if just us because we read way too many court documents. I'm not sure. He said, I don't know anyone who has malingered like that. They said that he was. They said it's not. He doesn't believe that. Now, another psychiatrist said that, which included the suggestion of a police officer, told the family that they thought he was faking, and that his psychosis was all a preconceived stunt, which he'd have to preconceive it for more than 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's a big lead up.
That's a lot. Yeah,
that's a lot of planning.
Certainly.
You don't hear about 2-year planned murders that often here. So Dr. Ryan said the fact that Bailey was once a high-functioning individual who studied law, ran his own business, and played high-level VFL football had protected him from his illness. He said it wasn't like it never happened or he never had it. He said that shit just kept it at bay because he was doing things.
He had a structured lifestyle.
He had a structure and he had a lot of things and it kept it at bay. And then when it started to fall apart, it's like little threads start coming off your shirt.
Yeah.
And if a little thread gets pulled, another little thread gets pulled.
Whole sleeve.
Eventually, your sleeve's a fucking mess.
Then you're a sleeveless man on one side.
Yep, and that's
all together on the other.
And that's what happens with a lot of athletes that we find out. Whether it's substance abuse gets kind of structured in, like they have to be at practice. Like Ben Cousins,
right?
When he was playing, he was great. He'd have to be at practice every day, so he couldn't do it. But if he had 2 weeks off, fucking bender time. Let's go. So it's if the structure helps people, even I guess in a mental way here. Another consulting psychiatrist here said that, quote, he believed himself to be Aristotle and he believed that he was leading the New World Order. He tells that to the court. Court heard a police officer. The police officer is the one that told his family that it was all a preconceived stunt after the arrest. They said he's not really fucking crazy. This is all a big stunt. That's what the cops told his family.
Do that.
No, especially because they're not medical experts at all.
Right. You're not professional.
And the doctor here said that lay people can form views based on superficial understanding of psychotic illness. Yeah, you're not a doctor. Right. There's a reason people go to fucking medical school for this shit. You have to know things. He said, the doctor here said, quote, this was not some concocted story. This was a genuine case of a man afflicted with a psychotic illness. So, they also said the family asked the doctor whether rage, anger, or depression were an alternative diagnosis. He said, quote, it's clear that this is a psychotic condition and not a mood disorder. So this is a different thing, he's saying. This isn't just he's a little depressed. He's a little sad and he had a little rage or anything like that. They're saying, not that it's bad, not that a little depressed is nothing, but they're saying this is a psychotic. He's disassociating. Yeah. He's dissociating with reality, which is a totally different thing.
Long gone.
Well, that's the difference between, like, when people plead insanity. Yeah. That's the only way that they're insane. Is did you have a psychotic incident where you lost touch with reality, didn't know time, place, all that type of shit, didn't know that something was wrong,
didn't even know that you were doing anything wrong,
or if you did, you didn't know it was wrong, you thought it was whatever, you didn't try to hide it, and all that type of shit. Now, they said that all these doctors said they assessed Bailey in person. They listened to audio recordings of his rambling speech following his arrest. They really studied this well. Dr. Deacon finally said, my personal view, my professional view, is that this is not a concocted story. This is he's genuinely afflicted by psychotic illness. So the court also hears that he had $70,000 in debt. at this time.
I thought you were going to say 70 grand stuffed in his drawers.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That'd be a shit.
Huge. That's how they spotted him.
Yeah.
Giant underwear coming down the street. So he had $70,000 in debt. So they were saying maybe that was part of, the family was saying, was that one of his motivations?
Yeah.
Was he was trying to get some kind of inheritance or something? Both psychiatrists said financial stress did not motivate him to kill at all. He wasn't in reality enough to know that he was in financial peril.
Somebody that lives with their mom, how do you get 70 grand in debt? It's because you don't know.
Well, plus taxes, and who knows what he was doing.
But you don't realize how far in debt you are.
No, and credit cards and everything else. They said instead, the doctor said that he'd been confused and perplexed afterwards, after the killing, and showed signs of genuine distress. Like he was confused and didn't know what he was fucking doing. They said his intelligence and high functioning past meant he probably stayed, quote, under the radar, and his mental health problems weren't obvious to others, which is true. Who knows at the end of the night what was going on in his head, but he played it off. He pulled it off and played it normal, basically. They said that now that he's getting treatment, he has better insight into his mental health. They expect to announce a verdict on Thursday. They're gonna, if they find him not guilty based on insanity, he could still be kept in custody, forever. He's currently also facing prison and a wait of at least 6 months before a bed is available at the psychiatric facility also. So he's got those problems here. Now, if the judge is not satisfied by the defense of the whole crazy thing, the case could end up going before a jury, which would look bad for the jury. Defense lawyers said they applied for evidence about his mental health to be suppressed again, and they didn't get it. So, brother-in-law said about the court appearance afterwards, he said, well, it was like he was a different person. He said about Stephen, quote, he was rude, angry, and his body language was hostile. That's what made me feel very uncomfortable. They said that he was always a polite, they just remember him as a polite young guy who loved football. And they were like, this is just not him, and they don't know what the hell to make of this whole thing. So, April 2017, this goes on here. This is the court. They find that he suffered from active psychosis since 2013. He's diagnosed as schizophrenic. The mental impairment defense is accepted, because he shows that he did not know what he was doing or did not understand it was wrong to do what he did, basically. Psychotic delusions are one of those things that cause that. Now they heard all about this. They heard all about the God shit and all that sort of thing. And finally, the doctor, to seal it, brings this up.
Oh boy.
He says that this is a new one. Okay. Dr. Ryan says that Stephen was convinced that his mother was intimately involved with the, quote, mime order. A powerful group of individuals who are out to kill him.
Silent killers. They
come they're like, they're extra ninja. They're coming super silent. They're not even like talking to each other afterwards to celebrate. They just like mouth like, good job.
Mime ninjas.
Mime order.
Oh, mime order.
The mime order.
The same. That's what he means?
I don't know. Who the fuck knows what he means?
They're
That's
silent but deadly.
All he would say is she's involved with the mime order.
Oh boy.
No one knew what that means. What that is that a real thing?
Right.
I looked it up. It's just there's pictures of mimes. I have no fucking idea.
Okay.
Mime order, powerful group of individuals out to kill him.
Well, you can't look them up, James.
No, because they're hiding.
Yeah.
They're very quiet.
They're very invisible.
He, quote, he had to prove he was on the side of the gods. He had to do something to prove to the gods that he was worthy of being the leader of the New World Order, is what the psychiatrist told the court. This is why he killed his mother.
Holy shit.
His mother was working for a bunch of mimes, and to prove to the New World Order that he was good enough to be their leader and was on the side of the gods, he had to kill her to show that he's not taking any shit from the mimes, whether his mom's involved or not, motherfucker. Okay. So prosecutors accept the not guilty plea, but like we said, the psychiatrists are saying it's not a concocted story. Okay. This is a fucking disaster.
This is bananas.
A mess. Yeah. Aristotle and gods and fucking mimes. This is what do you even...
I don't know how to even process any of it.
I mean, the family, this is like a nice family. It's been fine for 50 years, and now this fucking shit happens.
It's
like
too much.
It's too much. Honestly, and I never say this about usually blue blood, rich for generations people. I feel bad for these people a little bit. I kind of do. You know what I mean? Don't you? but not nearly as bad as I feel for Stephen Bailey, who is he's got a verified account on Twitter, this guy, and he only has 4,900 followers. So I don't know how the fuck he pulled that off.
What the fuck are you doing?
He's a Syracuse beat writer for Syracuse.com at the Daily Orange.
That guy gets to be verified?
And he gets to be verified because Syracuse probably.
I don't give a fuck.
Syracuse, I don't know.
He writes about them.
Yeah.
He has a blog, for fuck's sake.
For 4,900 followers.
Fuck that
only.
guy.
Yeah, you suck, Stephen Bailey. But you're not a psychotic murderer who killed his mother. So, Stephen Bailey, experienced financial planner and entrepreneur specializing in capital raising and strategic advice for innovative companies. In other words, you pay him to give you fucking advice that he can't follow himself.
Right.
Because
he has a job.
He has a job doing that. That's what that means.
Right.
That's exactly what that fucking means. I'll tell you how to start a company. Why don't you start one? I don't know.
I don't have any money.
I don't have any money. He says, quote, in my role as director of Straight Arrow Financial Services, I guide the business and advisors in providing professional financial advice. Look at you. I'm sure he's good at his job.
Yeah.
Stephen Bailey, senior WHS inspector for the Australian government.
Oh, no.
In Newcastle here. He worked, he's been all over the place here. He was a quality auditing teacher at TAFE-NSW, whatever the fuck that was before that. Also, Stephen Bailey, a professor at the University of South Australia.
No.
That's tough. And finally, Stephen Bailey, a comedian in the UK. I have a description from a website here. Stephen Bailey is a comedian, television personality, and writer. Stephen's brand of gossipy humor has made him one of the most sought-after comedians performing on the UK comedy circuit. Here's a review for him. He's an arch bitch with a winning smile. Everyone's favorite gay best friend. Bailey is confident, funny, and suitably rude.
He also calls it the circuit, so he's not a comic.
Well, yeah. I'm sure that might have to do with, I know maybe it's a gay circuit he's talking about. I don't know. There's no circuit there. You know what? One more.
Okay.
There's one more,
I was
Jimmy.
going to say he is a comic, so he's a psychopath. He just hasn't murdered his mother.
Exactly, because he has comedy.
Right.
If he ever quits comedy, keep an eye on his mother.
It's going off the rails.
One more. Stephen Bailey, a politician with the Australian Sex Party.
Oh my, the what?
The Sex Party.
Yeah.
Now, I had to Google Australian Sex Party. And not a lot of political information forthcoming right away. Mainly
have to get down a few pages.
Mainly just a lot of like lesbian action for some reason. There's a lot of videos titled "Hairy Lesbians" for some reason. I don't know what it is about Australia, but that's
Australian dudes really want to try to get their women with other women. It's
Apparently
a very
so.
bizarre thing. I know that to be a fact.
World
it's
over,
strange.
probably.
Yeah,
I think it's a common problem.
But they really push hard.
So the sex party here is currently, I guess, called the Reason Party. It's an Australian political party founded in 2009 as the Australian Sex Party. They changed their name in 2017 because no one could Google them without finding fucking porno. You couldn't fucking even look for them. You could. I'd like to donate money to the sex party. Oh, not her either. Not this party.
That party.
Jesus. But I love what they're about. The Australian Sex Party was founded as in response to concerns over the increasing influence of religion in Australian politics.
Oh, that's awesome.
And proposed this group, the other group, not the sex party, proposed an introduction of an internet filter. So that's why they did
that.
And they did all this, because there's commerce. It was born out of an adult industry lobby, obviously. But either way, good.
Yeah.
Keep those fuckers out of that shit.
Prostitution's legal there, for Christ's sake.
Is it? I don't know anything about it.
Australia? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Stephen Bailey there. Now, June 22nd, 2018, finally, Gregory Kerr tells the court here, there's a court thing that he feels betrayed by his nephew. The justice here, Stephen K., said that Penny had been described to him by friends and family as kind, gentle, caring person who is much loved by her family. He says, quote, the circumstances in which she died must have been particularly terrifying for her. It's appalling for her to have died in such violent circumstances in her own home at the hands of a son whom she had given so much care and support.
Everything.
I would fucking say so. That is a big you, sir. May fuck off. He is sentenced to the Thomas Embling Psychiatric Hospital for a period of 25 years.
Oh boy.
At least. I think he's
going to get out.
Or maybe, if he's fucking not sane by then.
Yeah.
They said that she suffered greatly during her death, and the large family and the grief that he caused throughout all these people makes it a lot worse. He said that evidence presented to the court indicated that Stephen's mental state had deteriorated in the 4 years before the offense. He does believe that he believes the psychiatrists who say that he's severely psychotic at the time of the event. The judge is satisfied with that. They said that he was, quote, not able to reason with sense and composure as to the wrongful nature of his actions, and thus qualified for a finding of mental impairment. So he's had a bunch. His final hearing's been adjourned a bunch of times while he waits for a bed at the mental institution. He resides at the psychosocial rehabilitation unit. Psychosocial. Jesus Christ.
Sounds like a party.
While there, the judge said evidence showed he experienced, quote, intermittent exacerbations of persecutory ideas, a sense that he was in danger of being harmed or killed while he's in the unit. So they said it's even gone to there. Even while he's medicated, he's had these weird states where he's afraid he won't eat anything. He thinks there's poison and everybody's after him, and all this shit here. So they said that he had delusional perceptions relating to body language of other people.
Oh boy.
So he would take some just little innocuous piece of body language as something that really means something.
Lose his mind.
That's psychosis right there.
My word.
To body language of other people, referential ideas relating to the television, like somebody would say something, he goes, oh, that's a code for...
Oh, not that guy.
He's doing shit like that, like, oh, they're speaking to me through the TV and code and telling me through the TV that his body language means he's going to kill me.
Unbelievable.
Shit like that. He's a fucking...
That's too much.
He's having a mental problem.
That's far.
They said there was persisting ideas, quote unquote, that's like a psychiatric term, relating to the gods, they said, from whom he still believed he was receiving messages. This is as of this year, and had expressed significant feelings of guilt also, because he didn't want he feels guilty about killing his mother, but he said, I got to be the leader of the New World Order, and I needed to prove it to the gods. I feel fucking bad about that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but some things are more important. Some things, the whole is more important than the individual. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. So I killed her. Wow.
Gotta benefit the group.
Got to benefit the group. They said, the judge said, in a case such as this, where there's a direct cause or relationship between Mr. Bailey's psychosis and his offending, where the offending was so serious the protection of the community and Bailey himself from harm must be considerations. Mm-hmm. He continues to suffer significant, persistent symptoms of his schizophrenic illness. It is in no circumstances clear that in interest of the community and of Mr. Bailey himself, the only appropriate order to be made in this case is to imposition of a custodial supervision order, and that is where Stephen Bailey remains.
Wow.
And will remain until, who the hell knows,
2040
fucking something. So that's Stephen Bailey. There you go, Australia. We've had a lot of people lately just sending us a ton of Australian stuff, and the Australian listeners are fucking awesome, and they're really loyal, and they're really into it, and they send us tons of stuff. Please do Australian stuff. They want us to come there to tour, which we would love to come to Australia.
Can't wait to give that a run.
We really would. Yeah. Problem is, you're a small country with spread out cities.
Right.
So if
we
half
have to do each one,
if half, well, we can't because then we won't have enough people. So basically, we need all of you to get together in one place that like the show there, and we'll come there and do it. But otherwise, it's so goddamn expensive and everything else. We don't want to charge people $250 a ticket to see us, to pay for a fucking plane ticket.
That is a 2-day
it's
trip.
Crazy. So it's really hard. When we can, we will fucking come there because we want to come there. Yeah. And but they always send us ideas for shows, and they're really into it. So we had to throw for episode 150. We needed murder for our round number like this. That's how it goes. So anyway, we needed to do that. So thank you guys, Australia. So we figured we'd give you the 150th episode.
You're welcome, Mark Busby.
Yeah, take that, Busby. I hope you know who this guy is. I'm not sure if anybody knows who he is over there.
I'll bet Buzz knows.
He probably knows. Busby's up on his shit.
He's so great, and he's been around for 3 years.
He's the man since the beginning.
He still writes to me every week at least.
He's a good dude. So if you like that show, you can write too. You can write on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Please, those reviews, wherever it is, helps drive us up the charts. They always do. So if you can do that, please give us 5 stars. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. It doesn't matter what you do. You can go to shutupandgivememurder.com where you can get all of your crime and sports merchandise and information and t-shirts and stuff and needs and things. You can get tickets to this Thursday, 2 days from now, February the 21st in West Palm Beach, Florida at the West Palm Beach Improv. Get your asses down there for that one. You can follow us on social media right from that site. There's links. You can go to @CrimeAndSports on Twitter and Facebook or at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Those are also places you can go. You can do tons of stuff. Oh, I know another thing you can do.
One more.
You can be our fucking hero, and you can be a donor to the show. You can be a producer to our show, and everybody who's done that blows us away for 150 episodes. Thank you guys. You guys have always jumped in and tried to help us out as much as you can. So I would like to hear a list of the people who have done so this week. Jimmy, hit me with it like you're the son of Zeus and Athena combined.
This week's executive producers are Janine Ballinger-Tebay, I believe. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Ellie Comack, Christopher Dobronsky, Malte Stange, maybe it's Malt.
I don't know. I like it.
Don't look at me.
Thank you.
Charlotte Ackerman. That was the one.
Yes.
Charlotte,
thank you. Yes, you're
I don't
awesome,
know what
Charlotte.
we do for you, but it's clearly amazing, and thank you.
We can't thank you enough.
Amy Spicer, Lonnie Hall, and Kelsey Capraro. You guys, thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts for you guys do unbelievable things, and you don't even know it, but thank you.
Yeah, you don't know what you mean to us, but it's a lot. Thank
Truly.
you.
This week's producers are Georgia Lilly, Brian Corbin, Francis Corsick, Courtney Isare. I think it's definitely foreign, right?
Foreign is supposed to what?
I don't know. Elizabeth Martin, Kristen Hensley, Tina Eldred, Jessica Hartke, Caitlin Stupak, Becky and Alex Simmons, Amanda Thomas, Tyler Gwill, Peggy Malone, Leslie Woodruff, Mackenzie Parrott, Bex Alice, Hirishikesh let's try this again.
Let's go back to one on this one.
Hirishikesh.
You're working on it.
Pandy, that's
there
it.
There you go.
Joseph Sirachi IV, which is a fucking great name. I think that's not right, but he's the fourth. That's what he is.
Damn.
Antonio Ackridge. Yes. Antonio Ackridge, Brendan Abels, L'Oreal Mitchell, Matt Nixon, Jordan Mosier, what is that? Alexandra.
What is that?
Oh, it's Alexandra Vandergag. That's what that is.
Oh, okay.
That's perfect.
Well, shit,
is what that was. Nick Jungers, Thomas Smith, Rachel Storr, Casey L. Bowers, yes, Jesse Hartman, Krista Walker, Kate with a C, Justin Miller, Sue Lee, not Solely. It's Sue, right?
Sue. Yeah, we'll go with
Sue. It's
So Lee.
Right. Casey. No, Chasey. Is that Chasey? Chasey. No, it's probably Casey Miller, but it's spelled with CH. I think that's what it is. Reagan Shaukley, Shauna Rogers, Morgan Carolyn. No, Carleon. Morgan, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
James Martyr. They gave no clarification whether or not you are a martyr. Jordan Bennett, Emily Hawkins, Tracy Renninger, Janice Hill, Luke Holman, Lewis Tidrick, Dylan. Oh, that was Levi Tidrick from a few weeks ago. Levi's, but that's Lewis. His name is Lewis. I called him Levi's. That's what happened. Dylan Hopper, Gina Golan, Melanie Harrison, Brittany Baker, Greg Stevens, Panhandle Games. They play a game. I don't remember what it is.
Okay.
But the winnings go to us, which is fantastic.
Shit, amazing. Thank you.
Marshall Walker, Sherry Costa, Keith Cole, Russell Tobler, Therese Alquist, Luis Rayfield, Keenan Eisenbart, Jackie Moran.
Keenan Ivory Eisenbart?
Yes. May Lee Elliott. Also, May Lee, not a porn star. She told us that.
Good. Good for you. Good for you, sweetheart.
Lori
Thank
Hicks,
you for everything.
Luna Alvarez, Chelsea Hansen, Stephen Hancock. Yes. Mark Trudeau, Ted Cyrus, Miftha Sadiq. I think I got it. I think I nailed that on the first one. Christina Luller, Sarah Reichert, Joseph Kenny, Fun Kylo. No.
Okay.
Elizabeth Negro. I can't say that. It's her last name, and I still can't say it.
What is it,
It's
Jimmy?
Negro. I can't do that.
Why?
No, because I don't know if it's Negro or Negro.
So the whole time Vinny Del Negro played in the NBA, you never said his name
Del,
once?
I can say.
Okay.
Because that's two last names.
Go with Negro.
It's N-I. It feels dirty. That's what
Don't
it is.
say it then.
It's Elizabeth. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Darren Mihal.
Nedro.
What is it?
Nedro.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's a G, and I'm not saying it.
I hope so.
I already said it, so it doesn't matter. Ty Jaeger or Jaeger. It's probably Jaeger, right? Yeah. Alexis Laster, Naima Shea, Corinne Cox, Lisa Jensen, Elizabeth Holzcamper. Jesus. Ryan Sweet, Jessica Fantaccioni.
Nice.
I think so.
Nice. I like it.
KP Drebel, Miles Barron, Lauren Demarath, Esme Snipes. Was it Sipes? Saups. Fuck. Is it Snipes?
Fuck.
It's Esme. That's what it is.
Nice.
Mike Jones. Yeah, Mike Jones. Tess Devine, Stephen Rude, George Wilson, Haley Marble, Ashley Vio, Grace Brunias, Emily Grace, Brittany and Patrick. I forget their last names. They told me, I believe.
Thanks.
God damn it. Thank you both so much. And happy birthday to Charm Hires. Her name is the most difficult name ever. But thank you guys all so much.
Thank you. We appreciate it more than we could possibly express in another 150 episodes.
Truly.
Or 450 or 600. It doesn't matter.
Time is so finite, and you guys invest so much for us. And then on top of that, your hard-earned cash. And we truly can't thank you enough for both of those.
We really, really can't. And Jimmy, what if somebody wanted to thank you? How could they do it?
You can find me at Wisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And it's been an amazing 3 years. And thank you guys for being around for however long you've been here. I appreciate it. Where can they tell you?
Absolutely. You can find me at Jimmy P is Funny, or copy and paste my last name from the show description, because it's a long one and you'll fuck it up. You're not Aristotle.
You're not.
So, yeah, that's the thing. You're not one son of the gods.
I don't even know if I can spell that.
That's what I mean. So just copy and paste it. Do all that. Keep coming back and seeing us for another 150 episodes, because we're not going anywhere. I don't know if there's 150 more athletes left, but we'll find as many as we can, damn it. And we'll keep doing this for as long as we possibly can until it kills us. And Jesus Christ, live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see everybody next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country, who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.